kind of caught me off guard here. Okay. Now, thank you, Lord. Help me. Let me pray. Very simple. It takes a lot of money to do what we do. Oh, yeah. Well, for example, that's really none of your business. But, hey, you listening to me? Let me give you another example. And I prayed about it, and I thought, back when, and I might add another thing, too. It's a misunderstanding. I'm talking about the Bible. God, I get excited talking about it because I love it. I had to learn this, the demons. Abraham was very, very wealthy. I learned it from him, from the Bible.
There's a foundation in the Bible.
Wait a minute now. The blessing of Abraham. Abraham was extremely wealthy, and he had covenant with God. I'm talking about the Bible. Oh, God, I love this. And I started out standing. My grandfathers. I love the people. Those are the demons. And I understand that. And I love them with all my heart. If you go into the old covenant, and it's full of meanness, it's just full of hell on earth. He made that airplane so cheap for me, I couldn't help but buy it. I love your eyes. Face to face, personally. Just the same as Jesus is very real devil. Rulers of the darkness of this world. God bless, Father bless. But it's a biblical thing, it's a spiritual thing. It doesn't have anything to do with people. And it's full of miracles, and signs, and wonders. It's full of unseen things. Jesus, people, I love people. Dragging some woman down an aisle, it made me so mad I wanted to punch the guy out myself. We wrestle not with people. And I have a lot of natural gas.
Well, I wrote this song for the Christian youth. I want to teach kids the Christian truth. If you want to reach those kids on the street, then you gotta do a rap to a hip-hop beat. So I gave my sermon an urban kick. My rhymes are fly, my beats are sick. My crew is big and it keeps getting bigger. That's 'cause Jesus Christ is my nigga. Woo! He's a life changer, miracle arranger, born to the virgin mom in a manger. Water to wine, he's a drink exchanger, and he died for your sins. I preach the word, that's my gig, and I rhyme better than Notorious Big. All the other MCs, I wish them well, but if you live in sin, you burn in hell. Now I'ma pass the mic to my lovely wife. She's a fly MC and the light of my life. So to bust a rhyme without further ado, take it away, Mary Sue.
Jesus Christ is my nigga. He's the son of the original G. And he was sent to earth to elucidate the way that we should be. What? Like if another MC says you're a freak, you're a lame butt rapper and your rhymes are weak. I don't get mad and I don't critique. I forgive him and turn the other cheek. I don't blaspheme and I don't brag. I don't cuss and my pants don't sag. I do exude a little Christian swag and I'm proud to be an American.
Jesus Christ is a nigga. Let his light shine through ya. Let his love pop a cap in your butt and say hallelujah. Jesus Christ is a nigga. He's our homie MC, JC, you see. He's an honest, caring, peace-loving nigga like me. If you do drugs and you think you're cool, you need to come to Sunday school. Put those drugs in a garbage can. Stand up tall, you're a Christian man. Word up. I'm freestyle.
Hit me.
Funky, 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 fresh, y'all. Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Pocket Locker Podcast. I am your host with the most. Oh, all the way from the East Coast. And as always, folks, I am in airplane mode, and I am joined by the beautiful, the lovely, the brilliant, the vivacious Maya Atkinson. Hell yeah. Maya, you gotta get with it. Maya's been moving. I've been moving too. I understand the depths of awfulness that it just thrust upon you, and you just can't shake it. You can't shake the moving blues. But this too shall pass, Maya, I promise.
I have never been so jealous of somebody moving in all my life. I'm just like, Jay's got the hard part out of the way.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my God.
boxes, and more boxes.
Yeah, seriously though. So I've been phoning it in, I think yesterday and today. I was just like, I need to stream, but like I need to phone it in.
Well, we've got you. We'll sit back, catch a vibe. Let's get this music out the way, and then we'll get into today's show. All right, gang. Communion time. Grab a drink. Catch a vibe.
When the road looks rougher,
Maya, what do you think?
miles and miles from your nice warm bed. You just remember what your old pal said, but you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got troubles. Well, I got them too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. We stick together.
I keep fucking up the sharing the tab audio. I gotta remember not to share it. Sorry about that. It's really bad.
Some other
All right, now it's better.
might be a little smarter than I am, bigger and stronger too, maybe. But none of them is ever gonna love you the way I do. It's me and you. And as the years go by, our friendship will never die. You're gonna see it's my destiny, 'cause you got a friend in me. Na-na-na, you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. Ow!
All right, gang, we got one more for you, and this one is a new one. Some new shit. Y'all are gonna love this. All right, here we go. Nope, not falling for the trick. I gotta remember not to. I gotta uncheck share tab audio. Oh man, it's all right. I remembered. Did it. Holy shit. All right, that was killer.
That was awesome. Yeah.
All right, what's going on? All right, that's I love that song too. All right, let me stop. Let's not play records, gang. I love you guys so much. I'm so glad to see everybody. It's good to be back in the cockpit. Let's go ahead and get into this now. Before we get into the main event, we've got a little bit of a opening act for today's show. Just something that's been grinding my gears lately. And for some of you, it's really, really unfortunate. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to just bear with me this evening because I know a lot of you hate sports ball things, and we're going to be talking about a person who uses a ball to make lots of money.
Like, don't scare them away. This is my stream too. Holy shit. No, okay. We're going to be talking about a bunch of black shit. If you didn't notice that from the BLACKTACULAR and all the caps.
It's
this
BLACKTACULAR.
Occupation just happens to be basketball. We're not talking about basketball. No, there will be no scores or no playing of balls by other men.
Yes. All right.
Talking about black shit. And Jenna is in my stream because I got the awesome people in my stream. Jenna, I love you. I did Jenna was in my stream about 3 months ago, welcoming in Black History Month. So Jenna is a friend to my show and Jay's show, and we love you.
Yeah, I don't want to do one of those team Meyer, Team J things. My self-esteem is low enough as it currently is.
You know what? If I lose friends because I'm anti-Nazi, I can live with that. If I lost half my subscribers because they didn't like that I didn't like Nazis, I could live with that.
Yeah, those are friends you definitely.
I mean, I'm not monetized, so it's not like I can just be me.
YouTube punk, I didn't get the memo. That it was supposed to be a Blackapalooza. The communications department over here is slow as shit. All right, let me get y'all the backstory. Let's get through a few minutes of this clip here so y'all can know exactly what's going on, and then I think we'll have a conversation about what I'm thinking.
Ja Morant's NBA stock was at an all-time high.
Who will be the dominant player of the 2020s? So Luka, Steph, Durant.
When you look at where the league is now, who do they need to make the face of the league? Who should Stephen A. be talking about day by day?
I think Ja Morant can become that guy, but definitely Ja Morant is a future face of the league.
And not Ja Morant is like Beyonce pulling up to Coachella.
Okay, weird analogy, Perkins. But the point is that in just a few short months, Ja Morant's NBA future has drastically changed.
Coming out of the NBA regarding Ja Morant and the suspension handed down from the NBA, and he will be suspended for 25 games according to our Adrian Wojnarowski.
And again, listen, his career, his future, again, as a face of this league, is in peril if his behavior doesn't change.
How did we get here? Ja Morant was the people's champ of the NBA. His high-flying dunks, the dancing, everything about Ja and the Memphis Grizzlies were clicking. But what a lot of fans don't realize is that there's way more to this rapid downfall than just the infamous Instagram lives. Here's how it all began and what the real cost of Ja's mistakes mean for him, the Grizzlies, and the NBA as a whole. Over the summer of 2022, Ja Morant allegedly got into 2 altercations. One was when he beat up a 17-year-old during a pickup game. Yeah, you heard that right, a 17-year-old. The story goes that Morant was hosting some high school players at his home when things got a little bit too heated. Morant claims self-defense and was not charged to police, so the story didn't really go anywhere. The second altercation occurred at a shopping mall. Allegedly, his mom was in a dispute and called Ja for backup. Morant showed up with 9 friends to the shopping mall and apparently refused to leave until one of his friends eventually pushed the security officer. At least there were no guns in the second story, but that's already 2 heated arguments in just one summer before Ja even began the NBA season. Now let's fast forward to January 2023. The Grizzlies head up to Indiana and one of Ja's friends is sitting courtside and he gets into it with some of the Pacers players. The game goes on, the Grizzlies get the win, but that's not the end of the story. A report comes out a few days later that the Pacers staff saw an SUV coming towards the team bus with a red laser pointed at them. Apparently it was from the car Ja Morant was in with his friends, the same guys who just got removed from the game and banned from the stadium. This is when Ja Morant's private school gangster memes really took off, and Uncle Shannon Sharp got on the air to give Morant some advice.
Stop pretending. All you do is yap and talk about, oh, I'm gonna let him live to see another day. I'm gonna do this. You're not gonna do nothing. What you're gonna do is get yourself in trouble, put yourself and your family in harm's way when you don't have to.
So Morant learned his lesson, right? Wrong.
All that stuff, pretty much false.
It was all false, but they said there was like a confrontation back there.
I answered that question earlier. I'm done with that topic.
March 1st, 2023, Powerade announces Ja Morant is going to be the face of their company. Morant is slated to star in the company's $10 million national campaign. 2 days later, the Grizz make a stop in Denver to go head-to-head with the top seed in the Nuggets. Denver blows out the Grizzlies. After the matchup, Ja decides to hit the strip club. Maybe he needed to blow off some steam after the big loss, right? Nothing really out of the ordinary for an NBA player. While he's at the strip club, Ja ends up on Instagram Lives and shows that he has a gun in his hand. 2 days after being announced as the face of one of the largest sports drinks companies in the world. Of course, the video goes viral and the Memphis Grizzlies take action, suspending Ja for 8 games without pay.
Why are you in the strip club with no shirt? Why are you walking around with a weapon? And why'd you hit the live button?
Keep in mind, the Grizzlies are the number 2 seed in the NBA. The league has never felt as wide open as it did this season, and a small market team like Memphis finally had a chance to get their first championship. What felt like could be the greatest season in Grizzlies history turned into an absolute nightmare. And even Powerade decided to pull their Ja Morant commercial, which was going to air on the NCAA tournament. Ja ends up serving his suspension, checks into a rehabilitation center, and apologizes.
Being a positive, light now with everything, that I've made, everything that I've learned in my 2 weeks.
Now this is...
All right. Now this, gang, is going to become an unfortunate theme in this situation where, as always, there's lip service to, I get it, I'm going to hold myself accountable, I'm going to change, and then it's just more of the same stuff. But I wanted to let this play so that y'all could get filled into the backstory, right? That we're not just talking about some run-of-the-mill NBA player. We're talking about a young man who's was considered a really, really big superstar in the league. He's still considered one of the most talented players in the league. And, he's a big deal. And all of these stories in and of themselves were sort of escalating big deals, but things got really serious with that Instagram post with the weapon.
This isn't the first time the NBA found themselves in an ugly situation with guns. In 2009, Washington Wizards star Gilbert Arenas brought loaded guns into the Wizards locker room and threatened his own teammate.
They were put on his chair, and I had a note wrote, pick one.
Arenas was suspended for 50 games from the NBA, hit with a felony charge, and did not last much longer in the league due to this drama and his injuries. At first, Arenas did not necessarily condemn Ja for his night in Denver.
So the question is this, do we accept this behavior?
I do.
Do you accept it as the team?
Arenas said the owner of the Grizzlies should simply ignore it, just look the other way and not discipline his star player. But it seems like lack of discipline is what got Ja into these situations. And he proved that this was the case after being eliminated in the first round of the playoffs and then doing it again. Memphis suspends Ja indefinitely from all basketball operations. Nike removes his sneaker from their website. As everybody knows, at the end of the season, the media votes on who they think should win the regular season awards. Morant finished the season averaging 26 points and 8 assists, and led the Grizzlies to the 2nd seed in the Western Conference. However, he isn't voted into any of the 3 All-NBA teams. If you're thinking, what's the big deal? Ja missing out on his All-NBA means that he's no longer eligible for his Supermax extension.
He didn't make any of the All-NBA teams this season. I think certainly the suspension played a part in people's voting, and now he's really already out of the mix for that next year. So in terms of getting that Supermax versus the...
Go ahead, Maya.
Okay, I mean, did the suspension play a part, or did his actions that led up to the suspension play a part?
Yeah, absolutely, right. And you have the strip club incident, and then it was I'm so my goodness, I'm not this type of person, and then he does it again with his friend.
Right, and I don't even mean the actions that for the suspension. I mean all of them. This guy is a loose cannon. Like I don't know how you get any jobs with this track record.
Yeah, it's a problem, right? And also the thing that I think of too with a lot of these guys is, some of them are coming. They're in recent years they haven't been coming straight out of high school. I think they've had to be like 19 or something, right?
Right.
But a lot of them are they didn't even finish their time in college, right? So we're talking about very young men who, the choices I
never
made.
seen. I mean, they have more money than
right. So
yeah, I mean, they have more money. A lot
life.
of them, are making more money than. I mean, certainly all of them. I think more money than the average American, and
certainly, yeah.
At this young age, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're 18 or 22. It's a lot of money to give someone who has no financial literacy. I mean, okay, think about me and you at 22, just being in college.
Oh, it's
scary.
It's just it's scary. It's scary.
I mean, would we have bought a house and a car?
Yeah. It was.
Or we probably would have been in the champagne room once or twice.
Right. And also like there is like the times we live in. Like part of this is that the narrative is still set by an older, more conservative paradigm in terms of business aesthetics. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of things will be perceived differently 20 years from now when even more millennials and Zoomers or whatever are in those positions where it's like, yeah, everybody's probably, snapped or gone live or uploaded when we shouldn't have. Whereas like we're still kind of in this paradigm where like you went live and did what? And we're supposed to act like people don't do, you know what I mean? So it is.
No, I thought that was a little premature. I don't think it was worth him being kicked off a team, but I can certainly understand why a sponsorship would choose to disengage, because you're being paid for your brand, and your brand is
right.
Whatever. It's like, all the Disney kids are like, they want us to be pristine because your face is your brand. Your actions are your brand. What people see you doing when they're interacting with you on the street, like that is your brand. That is Disney, and you are Disney's brand. And it's no different when you're talking about, what do you call these? Endorsements.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Your face is Nike. And I heard that either the NBA or the NFL was going to do a better job of, I know it was financial literacy, but also just professionalism and stuff like that, like teaching.
Yes.
Expectations. And again, that's not just something that is, as an HR director, these are things that we have to go through with everybody. I mean, janitors to directors. This is our culture. This is what we expect of you. Whether it's don't hire your children, don't date the staff, don't come in drunk.
Right.
We're about to go. We just did a marijuana policy where we have to tell people, all right, we're treating marijuana like alcohol. Don't come in high. You have to set these expectations. So and it's really hard. A lot of people, and not just him, a lot of people are being fired for what they do on social media. There was that one Karen in Central Park that was choking her dog, and the black guy that was bird watching was like, hey, could you not choke your dog? And she was like, police, there's a black man attacking me. Right. She got fired from her job. for him recording that video. And I just saw, I think last week or the week before, she was trying to sue her job for wrongful termination. She said that she was fired because she was white, and the court was like, "Ha ha, nice try, find another job, bitch."
Yeah.
It's not just him. Like,
it's not just him. It's a thing that could happen to anybody. There was another athlete that just got fired from a job at ESPN. He's like a Hall of Fame basketball player. His name's Paul Pierce. Because he was feeling himself in a situation, and he went live on Instagram, and it was some girls in the background, and he was getting a haircut, and the drinks and the smokes and all of that. And ESPN, to your point, is owned by Disney, right? And so they have like a morality clause, which is like, hey, you can't violate our public image or whatever. And so he was let go. But yeah, so these are things you have to learn, and it's weird too. Like, it's really weird. So for instance, like I look like this. I don't know if people probably don't realize. People probably think I only look like this when I'm live on YouTube, right? But this is like what I wear to work. A lot of times, right? I don't necessarily have to, right? But I can, and I typically do. And it's like interesting because there's still a lot of professional culture you have to adhere to, right? But I don't know. It's we are trying to find ways to make more room for people to express themselves, right?
Yeah.
But there's still the need to like draw boundaries in terms of behavior and things like that. And to the point, like, that's what people realize. Like, I'm still showing up to work, right? I'm still here to teach. We're still gonna have a meeting about this research. We're gonna do whatever we're gonna do. And so appearance is one thing.
right. I mean, showing up to work with green hair is one thing.
Right.
Threatening all your coworkers with a gun.
Exactly. Yeah.
I might have to draw a line.
Yes, exactly. So it's really interesting. But also it would be different. Like, there's just you can academia, you can kind of push things more. Corporate America, absolutely not, right? It's just.
I mean,
it's just
you're so privileged. You don't have shareholders to account for.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No,
Let's
you're
finish
totally
this
fine.
out.
That's it. But yeah, let's. Here we go. I think. Hang on a sec. I gotta share and share alike. All right.
The max, getting that 230 million plus you talked about, Stephen A.
They need to
He's
see
not
the
able to
video.
get that now.
Because of his two
I gotta
pistol-packed
pull it back up.
Instagram lives,
Thank
Ja
you.
cost himself $40 million. Morant is the
God.
heart and soul of the Memphis Grizzlies. He set the tone with his attitude and extreme level of confidence. The team adopted his demeanor, and is a large part of the reason they've been so impressive in recent seasons. But now, is Ja's personality just going to become a distraction? The situation kind of reminds me of a young Allen Iverson. Both skinny guards, the hair, the tattoo, and the highlights. AI did it with his nasty, iconic crossovers, and Ja has been doing it with flying through the air and demolishing whoever gets between him and the rim. As much as Iverson was loved for some of his infamous moments, like stepping over Tyronn Lue, getting his hair braided on the bench, or his infamous rant about practice.
I mean, listen, we talking about practice.
He just couldn't stay out of trouble, even being arrested several times and spending months in jail. As much as Iverson is appreciated now, is this really what we want for Ja Morant? Morant has the chance to lead his team to new heights they've never reached, to be a level of player they'd never had, and continue transforming the Grizzlies into title contenders. But with the distraction he caused leading into the playoffs, and now missing over a quarter of the next season, the bad news just keeps on coming. According to Gilbert Arenas, Morant has to make some drastic changes if he wants to reclaim his image and get back to where he was in 2022.
Is to be back where you were 2 weeks ago, and that, unfortunately, that's going to take about 2 years. Last step before crossing that finish line of image changing is he's going to have to cut his hair. That's just the harsh truth.
Hopefully, the millions of dollars he lost and the 25-game suspension will be enough for...
that's that conservative.
Is it me, or do a lot of people look like him?
Yeah, like what?
With dreads.
Oh yeah. A lot of
Braids.
people. Yeah, exactly. But there is that real pressure, and I hate to say it, like it's annoying. I felt that my whole life. I've always wanted to have longer hair, and I've always, there's always been so much pressure put on me to cut it, and it's so annoying because people don't understand that it takes years and years and years and years to grow your hair out. And it's just but it's that old, it's like that church man mentality, and so many of it speaks to like the dominance to me of like conservative Black Christianity in the culture, that like they still expect people to conform to that nonsense.
It's conservative Black people
in general. Yeah.
They want to follow the white people. You got to shuck and jive, you got to make the white man happy, and again, that's so they don't like try to come and burn down our entire town in our sleep.
Right. And I think he certainly has to do some image rehabilitation in the sense of, but it needs to be on message, right? It doesn't need to be some bullshit about his hair. It needs to be about guns and not playing with gun culture.
I mean, he looks fine to me. His hair, if women can play with long hair, men can. It's bullshit. And I don't even understand where the short hair means that you're respectable comes from, especially from the Christians, because all throughout the Bible, like nobody cut their hair. It was never mentioned. Samson, in fact, got his strength from his hair.
Oh yeah.
God lost favor when he cut it. So I don't understand where any of this shit comes from.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's super weird. All right, y'all, we're almost getting through this. We're
Morant
done.
to finally get his
30 seconds
act
left.
together, because he's definitely one of the most exciting players we have in the NBA today.
Free up, Murphy. Morant.
Oh, give me a couple highlights, though. And he plays defense.
Enjoy it, playing job.
Morant spins. Oh, what a play by Morant. Morant wants the line. Oh, Morant. Behind the back. Skies and jam.
If you enjoyed these longer videos, hit this.
Come on, that's crazy. All right, but look, gang. Now let me
Are you looking at the game? God damn it!
let me actually get y'all into what's been going on. I want y'all to get caught up, but I'm gonna take some of y'all back. Some of y'all will remember this, but Charles Barkley had this iconic commercial, and it led to a couple of media appearances where he was talking about it. Let me see. Tell me if y'all remember this.
I am not a role model.
Can't see this thing, Jay.
God damn it.
I'm not paid to be a role model.
I remember this.
To wreak havoc on the basketball court. Parents should be role models. Just because I dunk a basketball doesn't mean I should raise your kids.
I can't believe Nike let him do that.
It is a weird commercial. It is one of the all-time super weird commercials. But let me see. I think if I show y'all just a couple more clips.
No, but like I remember real quick. I remember leading up to that, where a lot of athletes were in the news, and soccer moms were berating them like, you're a role model and you should do this and you should do that, and they were fighting back. It's like, I didn't choose to be a role model. I'm like, it's not, you chose the job, you chose a role model's job. Like, you don't get to then say, well, I want this part of my job but not others. I mean, it is what you are.
Yeah.
I mean, I was little. I can't remember when that came out, but I'm thinking maybe middle school when it did, and I didn't have kids, so I didn't understand it. But looking back, I'm just like, Nike really paid for that shit. Like, that wouldn't happen today.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely not. Yeah. It would be seen as way too weird. But this story made me think of that. And then I'm going to show y'all what came to my mind next. I think y'all see where I'm going with this.
Representative Thomas Massey of Kentucky is drawing heavy criticism after posting this photo to Twitter 4 days after the Oxford shooting. It reads, "Merry Christmas. P.S. Santa, please bring ammo." Some parents who lost their children to mass shootings responded to his tweet with pictures of their late children.
Hello, I'm Mark.
Yeah. All right. And then I got another There's one more gem I prepared for you guys. This time I'm gonna add it. Boom. Look at that. Look at that. Oh no, I fucked up. I keep forgetting to not share the damn audio. Gang, this is, y'all know it's a whole new set. I'm just learning this shit.
Hard.
It's hard. Oh no.
Congresswoman Lauren Boebert is courting more controversy. The Colorado Republican tweeted this picture last night showing her 4 boys holding semi-automatic guns. You'll remember that one of her Republican colleagues, Thomas Massie, made headlines last week with a similar holiday photo of his family.
Now, House Democrats were already calling for Boebert to be disciplined for her repeated Islamophobic comments.
All right. But so the gang, that's what popped into my head. Like, I am not trying to. All right, so let me get the asterisks and the disclaimers and the stuff, so I don't get in trouble with legal. I'm not trying to encourage gun culture. I don't fuck with guns. Period. End of story. And I actually. So a lot of people are actually saying this. So the NBA recently suspended Ja Morant for 25 games going into next season. And that's why all this is in the news right now, because that's a pretty big suspension and it will immediately disqualify him again from all of the stuff to kick in his bonuses and all of that shit. And so people are estimating it's costing him like $60 million. I'm cool with that. I'm even cool with the people who were saying he's getting off easy. Right? But the thing for me is I don't want basketball players held to a higher standard than Congress people. And this isn't really on the NBA, like, cool, discipline them, sanction him, suspend him, cool, if that cost him, endorsements and whatever. Cool, let's stop playing with guns, y'all. But how is it not more outrage over the fact that congressional people make Christmas cards with children holding automatic rifles? Like, it just came. I was like, really? Are we really more worried about a basketball player with a handgun in a strip club on an Instagram post? It just, it just doesn't seem proportionate here.
I mean, as far as where our attention lies, I get it. We probably have more eyes on him than the congressman's Christmas card on Twitter, right?
That's a good point. The platform is arguably, the scale's certainly there for the NBA to compare it to a senator at that level. It just had me think of that whole Barkley thing, though, right? Of like, yeah, this is what he was saying about us not making, these people. And it just bothers me because we have such a right-wing culture that is so gun-toting. Everybody's open carrying. Everybody's not just, I can't tell you how many right-wingers I know who their guns either are or them holding their guns is like their profile picture or their thing on Discord. And it just seems like, okay, then let's have this bigger conversation about, because I hate everybody showing off guns. I think it's stupid. I think it's like literally like whipping your private parts out. Like, it's just a thing that is not for public social consumption and discussion. I should not know how large you are. I should not know how large your arsenal is. It's just TMI. So yeah, that was just it. I don't know. It was just
no.
I
hear you, but you remember
that
California had kind of lax gun laws until the Black Panthers went to the Capitol steps and were like, we have a right to bear arms, and then all of a sudden, all these gun laws just come out of the fucking woodwork. As we speak right now today, they are trying to figure out a way to get guns out of the hands of minorities and keep them in the hands of white people. They are
Right.
hypocrites. They don't give a fuck. I'm just saying.
That's what it just really seemed like. Because I imagine a baseball pitcher, a white baseball pitcher, could go Instagram live right now with his ARR in his backyard, shooting all types of stuff, or playing out some war scenario, and they, oh, that's so cool! Look at him, he's GI Joe in his spare time, you know. and then it's this guy. It's like, oh man, y'all should make sure he never goes anywhere near basketball ever again. It's just, so again, like I literally don't support gun culture. I don't even think we should have a Second Amendment. Literally, gang, they could get rid of it. I would not lose an ounce of sleep. So, again, I'm cool with the NBA, the NFL, Budweiser, McDonald's, and NJ Transit all deciding that nobody's allowed to go live on social media with guns because it's just an extremely poor taste.
I'm it's like I was saying earlier, I'm really more concerned about, I as a Black person am allowed to have the morals that the fans deem are acceptable. I don't want it to ever be okay where, a white player can have guns and a Black player can't take a knee.
Right.
But also, I'm I don't know if it's coming on my side or yours, but I'm hearing like a slight echo, and I don't know, like I can hear me.
You can hear you?
Yeah, I'm like not so annoying. It's like lower, but it is an echo. I don't know. Does anybody in the YouTube chat hear that, or is it just a me problem?
Yeah, I can't hear it. Maybe just close gather for now. All right. So, but yeah, that was bothering me. Let me make sure things are all right on this.
All right. I don't know. I'll work it out, I guess. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
All right. So let's also, I'm trying to make sure I've muted all my extra stuff too, so that I'm not.
I know, like the tabs, like it's they're a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, they are. So yeah, it also might just be my microphone because my mic is the room I'm in is kind of echoey, so I'm worried it might just be that. But all right, so let's get into the main event of the evening. I did not bring Maya here to talk about basketball, y'all.
Look, we're talking about
just trying to get y'all rolling in, so we could talk about some issues. That shit was just it was grinding my gears. It was just grinding. I'm like, if we're gonna go there, because look, even like. The gun culture just bothers me, y'all. It does. I even think of it like this. Like, did you hear the story about the pins when they all had the AR pins in Congress and they all had little, how they love their little flag pins and shit? All the Republican Congress people started wearing these like AR assault rifle pins on their lapels in like I was like, this is just so literally gross to like be at this place in society. And then I always think about like when you go to the grocery store, how there are probably no nudie mags, right? But even anything with like swimsuits and stuff, it's like 3 rows back and hidden. But guns and ammo is like front and center. Make sure you don't miss the latest. That's like weird. I think we should think about that. Like, what does that say about us?
It's not about us. Congress is not backing any issues that are important that your average American feels is important. They're not. Most Americans want healthcare for all. Most Americans want abortion available in some capacity up until the point of viability. Most Americans want fair wages, like just livable wages, and rents that they don't need 2 and 3 jobs to afford. I I mean, I really could. I mean, most people want to be able to send their kids to college and not have to worry about them paying it off until they retire. Congress doesn't care about any of this.
Right.
What that shows is that, again, man, I know you're tired of hearing me say it, but like, it's too much money in politics. We have to have enough money for them to give a fuck. And nothing will change until money's taken out of politics. And we can talk about banning religion, and we can talk about, having, term limits. And we can talk about having, Jesus be real and come out of the clouds and actually be commie and, say the,
Right.
and the thing is, they would still vote against. I believe that Congress would actually kill Jesus if he were trying to promote anything that was not in lockstep with the rights of the 1% and blame it on Black people.
Sure. I think absolutely. I think they absolutely, and of course, they wouldn't believe. They wouldn't believe, right? Hell no. And yeah, you're 100% right. But I'm with you actually. I think it's an issue we can't talk about enough. I think it's what's killing democracy and all of us along with it. What we really need is some sort of grassroots something or other that at least pushes it into the mainstream consciousness, because again, it's criminal to me, like just like it's criminal right now that if you're MSNBC or CNN and it's Pride Month, you're not talking about, hang on, we need to talk about Christianity and how it's got our queer community all types of fucked up. And let's talk about exactly why they're passing that, right? They're never willing to like have the bigger conversation. And I think right now that's criminal because it's getting people killed. But the same thing could be said for money in politics. Even see the curious case of Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin, right? Like that was about how weird it is in the game of chess that was going on behind closed doors. It was never like homeboys being brought out by the oil people, period, end of story. Like what the fuck, what are we talking about?
Yeah, like you looked at the chat, they're spewing some straight gun facts up in here. We had some smart girls in the chat.
I'm
Love
with
you all.
it.
Mwah.
I appreciate it.
All these things are true.
Yes, exactly. And it's weird, like I think Wayne makes a pretty strong case about this, that like arming people of color is sort of a way to accelerate gun reform. My thing is, the cost is Black bodies, and that's why I can't go there, because it's already such that Black skin is like a lethal weapon. And so if you're also carrying a firearm, like I can't recommend that strategy, because the only way to get there, it just gets too many Black people killed.
Well, I mean, fucking iPhones get Black people killed. It looks like a gun to me.
Right.
I mean, having Black people walking around with actual guns, like it's. If we're talking about armed, like in your house, so that whenever the white people decide that they're gonna go forward with this race war, that we have a snowball's chance in hell of making it through.
Right.
I'm cool with that, but Black people walking around like AR-15s or lollipops, I just don't think it's gonna work in our favor.
Yes. Even the January 6th was, the funny of, imagine if that was some Black people. But even when you get deep into the tactical aspects of it, where they say, well, part of it was we had to make this assessment and we couldn't open fire because we believed that they might have enough firearms, that we might have been outgunned, right? And so that's part of the justification. Why I said if that was black people, it would have been shoot all the niggers, figure out how many guns they have later. Like they would not have made some sort of tactical assessment of, oh well, maybe we're out. Please, it would have been call the National Guard, call the.
We've seen it before. We've seen it before. You know, it just. You know, I mean, we're talking about, well, we're not really talking about Juneteenth this stream, but I mean, like, even when you're looking at, what do you call it, Black Wall Street, a white woman screamed. They thought she might be in distress. And obviously, she was distressed because of black man. Just go in and find all of them. It doesn't even matter. And I mean, there are so many Black Wall Streets. It's nuts to me. And I mean, because like I've seen I mean, just the two offhand, I remember, well, I think Rosewood was in Florida. And then I forget the name. And oh, fuck me. It's either North or South Carolina. They actually had 17 black representatives. And the white people were like, fuck that shit, went in, held them at gunpoint, made them sign over, like resign. And then they were replaced with white men. And they didn't get another black representative until like the 90s or something like that. It's insane. Whatever we do is going to have to be very carefully and with a lot of allies.
Yeah. So Beck said he's thinking about getting some protection. Beck, my advice, man, is like home security system. You know, if you're really worried about it. But
honestly, real quick, if you get a gun, you're more likely to kill yourself or your loved ones than an intruder. As a trans person, I can't tell you not to do it.
Right.
But
exactly.
For the average American, stats are not on your side if you're a gun owner. Just FYI.
Yeah, I was literally, you took it right out of my mouth. I was just saying, think about the risk to yourself versus the risk of protecting yourself. It's hard for me. Like, I feel like, you know, there's certain things about me that like I feel unsafe, like where I'm more likely to be a target of violence for certain reasons. But I still think that fortunately, it's never gotten to that point. And, you know, I live in, you know, fortunately safe enough neighborhoods. I don't feel like there's a high risk of, you know, home invasion and things like that. I've been, in a sense, the victim of a home invasion before, but it wasn't random. Like I had a roommate who sold weed and was also lazy because he was young and loved him to death. But this is the truth. And so he like left the doors unlocked, which is the thing I was constantly warning him about, right? And so, you know, somebody like broke in our house with shotguns. But even that was kind of an instructive lesson, right? Because the thing to do was, yeah, they took the weed and the money, and that was the end of that. And also, literally locking the door could have prevented it, right?
I mean,
so it's just it's kind of like go through stuff like that. Just think about it. But yeah, it's there was a time in my life when I thought I wanted to own a firearm. I don't judge anybody for personally wanting to own one. I just just always want people to think through it.
Yeah, and I mean, I have a lot of family that lives in the South, and they hate libs because they hear the right wing rhetoric that all we want to do is take your guns. And I'm like, all right, so we've had an all-Dem Congress under Obama. We've had one under Biden. They didn't even try to like do anything that resembled taking everyone's guns. Like nothing even close. Like, so if we wanted to do something, we could have done something by now, and we're not. But there's just like all this fear. But the fear on the Black side, at least, they hear it. Like they hear the white people talking like legit racist. see a black man and they feel comfortable enough, they will start talking about the race war and everything that they're going to do to them. Every black man in Atlanta has heard it. And, you know, they're scared. They're legit scared. Like, they don't want to be without their guns because they don't want to be, this black skin is a bullseye.
Yeah, I mean, so to speak to it is like I have felt the threat of white racialized gun violence my whole life because, I was the only black kid in all white schools. A lot of y'all know, but part of that experience was white fathers, usually through their older sons who were like the older brothers of, whatever girl I was involved with, like letting me know, hey, my dad wants you to know that we own this gun and this gun, and and when you know what it is then, like what they're telling you, and when you look back at it now, you're literally like, so that grown man sent his child to threaten another child,
right?
And so now you're like, y'all can't tell me shit as a grown-ass man about what they would do to us, because they were willing to do that shit to me as a child, right, to make sure I wasn't kissing their daughters.
An unarmed 14-year-old.
right. So yeah, y'all can't tell me shit about this. Like, obviously, that is so. Yeah, it's an absolute real fear that I'd say you somehow learn to live with, but it's terrifying. And then like I live in Michigan, right? And so this is the state where like they tried to kidnap the governor, but they've done like the armed assault rifle protests like at the state capitol. Like they'll just, and I like live in the state capital city, so like it's like it's stone's throw from my house. But they'll like bring their assault rifles to the state capitol. And then there's a bunch of these. It's also one of them like militia, because Michiganders do everything themselves. So it's like one of those like happy militia type states too. And I'm like, y'all make me very, very nervous. Right? Because you'll see people who still like celebrate their Confederate flags and all that type of shit, and you're just like,
It's like, we're fucking Michigan.
Terrifying.
That's a Confederate flag. We're Michigan. Like.
Yeah.
But CRT. Okay.
Yeah, it's Carrie Ann said Michiganders are weird.
It's some weird ass shit. Like, I'm in Maryland, so like, which was a slave state, and people go back and forth because it's very northern now. But it's just, the people that, I don't know. For me, Maryland's also a very blue state. And so when you see it, it's always like way out, it's never on anybody's company property or anything like that. It's, they're just like waving it from their porch and, out somewhere as you're leaving the city. But like, I remember being in Myrtle Beach and seeing the Confederate flag. I mean, this is like back in like 2008 to 13 when I used to take the kids out every year. And if I saw a Confederate flag, like without all this stuff going on, I even knew then. I'm like, all right, that's, for me, it just looked like a business I wasn't welcomed in. It was like a no shoes, no shirts, no black people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. No. There's no way. I even when I see a lot of these people go to like Trumpist events or whatever, and they'll start interviewing people, I always want them to just ask them. So is it really about racism? Like, is it? Because I just want to ask. Like, is it? Because I wasn't even gonna get anybody to just go ahead and just tell me, like, because it's so weird. All right, but
I mean, we think about it as being weird because like, we see ourselves as being equal to everyone else. So it's a no-brainer for us. Like, okay, it's just like heavy LARPing. Like, obviously, we're all the same. But like, you're still talking about a huge group of people who've never met a person of color, right? They hate because they don't know. And we're about to watch a PragerU video. So what they know about people of color is what people they trust, like Prager, Carlson, Judge Janine, all the wackadoos like that. This is what they're telling them. This is who they trust. And, it's like Dr. Bob said, why would I watch anybody else?
That's and
it never doesn't hurt, right?
Yeah. And the funny thing is, I bet you even since Tucker Carlson's disgraceful downfall, which apparently was they found some shit that was pretty racist. I bet you he still wouldn't move on it. I bet you he still feels the same way. I bet you Dr. Bob feels the same way about Tucker Carlson today that he did then, because people like that don't take in new information.
No, it's been delicious to watch. It was just like when whoever he replaced went down. Was that O'Reilly or somebody? And I was just like,
Bill O'Reilly,
let's find another one. And then Tucker rose to power, and I'm just like trying to figure out which one of these assholes is going to be next. But it will be another asshole that's next because the money's there.
Absolutely. And so speaking of the money is there, we are going to visit Amala, Prager. It's Juneteenth. It's the BLACKTACULAR. And so we can't act like all black people just became free back then. First off, ain't none of us really free. But these coons out here, they are still dancing for them butter biscuits every day. So, can you imagine being a Black PragerU content creator?
I can't.
Being anti-woke.
I mean, because there's so many of us out there. There's just like, man, if I didn't have a conscience, I could be so rich.
It is.
I don't understand how much money. I don't think there's an amount you could give me that I just like sell out. I mean, any group really, much less my own race. I don't know. And I was talking, I can't remember if I was talking to you about this or somebody else, but it's just like, we're looking at Candace Owens, and I mean, Jesse Lee Peterson, I think is just legit, like touched, whereas like, there's a word that I don't know, people think is like a slur, but I really honestly, with my whole heart, unironically think Jesse Peterson is that. He doesn't seem straight to me. Like I don't like it's not all there.
Right.
Candace Owens is a legit grifter who I think, like, if the shit hit the fan, just thinks she could either one, jump on the nearest plane to get out of here before the crap hits the fan, or two, really thinks that there are enough white people here who would protect her.
Yes, because she's one of the good ones.
Yeah, and for her sake, I hope the first one's true, but because she, if it turns into Gilead up in here, she's done. She's done.
That's
I mean,
true.
she might,
That's true.
I think it was like you said, she might be the last one in the wood chipper, but she's going.
Yeah, and Amala is
right there with her.
For people who don't know, she's aspiring, right? She's who they're like positioning, they're like Candace Owens. She's gonna age out of our preferred demographics soon, and we're gonna need a younger face to take over the coonery. I don't know. That's my read on the situation. I could be wrong.
I mean, maybe. She's married. She has 2 kids. She needs to sit her ass down, take them shoes off, stay in the kitchen.
Or I don't think I shouldn't say that I think she aspires to be Candace Owens. I shouldn't say that. I get the feeling that they're trying to get rid of Candace Owens anytime soon. Candace Owens is printing money for them, but it does feel like they're trying to get the next generation, right? They're trying
you're not going to be able. I mean, she'll sit down when she's ready to. I mean, she's married to the CEO of I don't know, White Supremacist U, whatever that app is. The one that they were trying to. Do you remember? She was trying to get Kanye to buy it, and then Kanye. I don't know. He went off the rails too fast.
Is that why they were hanging out? I didn't know why they were hanging out. I was hoping they were having some sort of torrid love affair. Yeah. They were doing business. They really, man, that just ruined all my right-wing scandal.
She was trying to push her. What do you call it? What's the opposite of cash cow? Just It's like bleeding money. I mean,
yeah, she has
it
like a.
is.
Doesn't she have a phone or something that's like bleeding money too?
Trump phone. Yep. Yeah,
Oh,
she's tied to all the
man.
best things, just like Trump. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, she's trying to get rid of it because like there's a lot of money tied up in it, and if he could just buy him out, it'd be better. But
Right.
Kanye ruins everything.
You see Guantanamo. Oh man, you
All
guys
right. Let's get the video started.
Unwoke Inc. Here we go. Oh.
The first time I heard woke, I thought it was something positive. You know, that you were awake to what was happening and that you were fighting the white male capitalist who had the whole world set up for himself.
He's certain strong.
And you were going to be the
All right, gang. Period. End of story. First off,
Right.
she's
We're done with the
already
video.
Yeah, she already gave the game away. She already just gave it away. Of course.
Start out with the quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
I love it.
Look, I'm all about the woke. All right.
See, like you're gonna talk to these progressives, they're gonna say some lame ass shit like you're awake and I know what they're doing. I know who they are and what they are doing to us, and we should band together against the 1%. No, fuck that shit. It's actually more sinister, and I will tell you what it is. Ugh.
Also, you just heard her life story. That's her entire. If you need to know who Amala is, you know it all. She used to be woke, gang, and PragerU was like, what? A black girl who used to be woke? To give her all the monies.
Activist who brought the whole system down.
Amala interview take 1.
My name is Amala Benobi. I live in LA and I work for PragerU. At this point in the 2020s, woke is everywhere.
Why
on
isn't there a
billboards,
face
in
just flying at
entertainment.
her face? And I don't advocate violence to non-Candace Owens type bitches, but like it's like when you're just like, I'm a black person and I work for PragerU. Like that's when like somebody was supposed to step up and help out the team, man.
Yeah, and also like, don't you have family or like people or like somebody has to hit you up with that call that
Self-esteem.
not all money is good money, kid. Like,
Candace Owens' family won't talk to her.
gang, just know that I love you guys enough that I'd rather be broke. Because I always realized, if I call PragerU, it's like, look, man, I went to school for evolutionary biology. I used to be an atheist YouTuber. Like I could go from like 700 some odd subs as an atheist YouTuber to like 700,000 just off the fact that I used to be an atheist YouTuber. Like the numbers wouldn't even make any sense. Like the backstory would be, bro, like nobody knew who the fuck you were.
No, wait a minute. Overnight, Jay just added 5 zeros to his sub count. What the fuck?
Oh man, having a fucking conscience sucks.
In sports, on our clothes, in our schools, and in our businesses. And I kept wondering, how did this happen? We all feel it, and the feeling isn't a good one. As someone who was once on the far left, I worry that wokeism is ripping our country apart.
What is it? This is too much. This is just too...
It's wokeism.
Man,
That's the word.
I just gotta say that it's like the production value is like great, but it's almost getting in that WWE like overproduced territory. I'm not, but I love it. It's just that they're poison. Like it's smooth poison. But look at these.
Well, but you got to remember, like they're working with smooth brain individuals, so you gotta do like things got to be fast motion because you don't want them to turn their head. They'll lose their attention span. They might see a cat video out of the corner of their eye while they're here.
It's the foxification of everything. Sorry, I realized I probably forgot to do the damn audio nonsense. I probably fucked up the sound.
At PragerU, we have a slogan: don't just complain, do something. So I began asking questions. Where did wokeism come
They
from?
have a slogan?
Is woke here to stay?
Where did wokeism
And
come
are there
from?
alternatives to wokeism? So
So
began
she went to Wokeism Central.
across the United States
She went to
to try to
Wokeism
find those
Central.
answers. And perhaps, in finding those answers, we'll find a way to end wokeism once and for all.
Can we define it? Can we define it? Like I don't like. She keeps asking. The
I think
questions.
she's gonna. I think she is gonna. I think she's at least gonna ask somebody to define it. Hopefully. But
You know that's not going to happen.
She's literally talking
Oh, come
about
on.
bringing an end to it.
So much of the talk around woke seems to be just that, talk. At the end of the day, nothing will change if those of us who disagree with wokeism don't take action ourselves. But to understand what can be done about it, we need to understand the world in which it originated. My first stop was to talk to the man who literally wrote the book on woke. Here we are in Columbus, Ohio. The first questions:
What is this
wokeism?
a fashion shoot
And
or
where did it come from?
The origin.
Hi, Vivek.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Meet Vivek Ramaswamy. He recently founded Strive Asset Management, an investment management firm that's challenging industry titans like BlackRock and Vanguard. He's doing it the old-fashioned
BlackRock
way,
and Vanguard?
focusing his investment decisions on excellence over politics.
Wait, did anybody, hold up. Did anybody, am I the only one that caught that
No,
shit?
I heard it. These are we are deep in the conservative nuttery here.
Holy shit. BlackRock is being blamed for all of the rent increases right now. Like BlackRock, were they even the ones, man, I could be wrong on this, when it was the thing, the oil pipe through the native lands, was that BlackRock?
Oh, the pipeline?
Yeah.
I don't remember which company that was.
Holy
Maybe
shit,
somebody
but
in the
no,
chat
BlackRock,
knows.
I mean, they're evil fucks. And I'm like, and I'm trying to look for Strive. Wait, what is it? I've never heard of Strive.
But before Strive Management firm
Oh,
that's
yeah,
challenging
Strive
industry
Management.
titans like BlackRock and Vanguard. He's doing it the old-fashioned way.
That's his new
focusing
company, I
his
guess.
investment decisions on excellence over politics. But before Strive,
Oh,
he founded
okay.
a
It's
multi-
an
I'm sorry, but
investment.
these are
It's an
literally-
investment firm. Need I say more?
We've been watching Secession on HBO, and these are like some bros straight out of Secession. Like they're
Yeah.
just straight out of.
No, like he is evil incarnate. Like that's actually what happened. And that's who she's going to, like,
To talk about woke.
the top of the 1%, the people who are saying make shit up to pit the 99% against one another, and is going to him. Like he leads an investment firm. Why are you talking to him about social what do you call it? Oh God, I'm sorry, it's late. About like social constructs, really.
It's just grift. It's just grift. They're just grifters.
Well,
It's
he
just,
makes a lot of money, so he must know everything.
the grift is. Oh, but Maya, that's a beautiful point. That is literally how they see it, right? They see it as your net worth literally determines your social value. And
Moneyness is close to godliness.
crazy.
multi-billion-dollar biotech
appeal to authority.
Exactly.
Authority in what? The stock market. Therefore, he knows what words mean.
And let's see. I don't know where it was, but I somehow clicked someplace and she asked somebody to define woke. I wonder if it's going to be him.
company called Roivant Sciences. They were literally working to cure cancer. Until, at the height of Black Lives Matter, his board and employees demanded Vivek speak out in full support of the organization and the movement. And he couldn't do it with a clear conscience.
But I stepped down as
So he left the company that he created. Because of this experience, Vivek wrote a book you might have heard of, called Woke Inc.
And this is the motherfucker she is going to say wrote the book on woke. Oh,
Is she serious?
oh my.
I mean,
All
right. I just
Wow.
put origin of woke
Wow.
in a Google search, right?
Yes, this is
Woke is an adjective derived from African American vernacular English, meaning alert to racial prejudice and discrimination. Like, why wasn't that like she had to go to the CEO of all money?
And he left. He was like, I will not. This company will not support Black Lives Matter. I would rather.
Black lives do not matter to me. I shall write book.
I
for
would rather
money.
quit my company, which is somehow monetizing finding the cure for cancer. No way, they're assholes. And because he just can't stand it. He just can't stand the woke. So she's not going to go talk to an actual, I don't know, critical race theorist. Sorry. But like literally like not going to go talk to any of these wonderful like African American studies scholars or people who are going to give her the real history. She's going to go talk to this capitalist asshole about his propaganda book.
I wondered about the meaning of the word woke. And I'm just like, origin of woke. And I'm getting just like a slew of information on its origins in like the 1920s, like from actual sources, the Independent, Medium, Legal Defense Fund, Snopes even, League of Women Voters, Washington Post, The Economist, Merriam-Webster's Dictionary. Like none of this shit was good enough for her.
None of it. Like literally none of it. And this is like saying I wanted to learn all about Darwinian evolution. So I went to the Creation Museum to talk to Ken Ham.
That's exactly what you're doing here. It really is.
Oh my goodness.
Wrote a book called Woke Inc. I think a lot of people are going to hear that and go, what's woke?
Mm-hmm.
So Vivek, what's woke?
Yeah, wokeness refers to being alert to invisible injustices perpetuated against disempowered classes of people, generally defined on
had a
genetically
better
inherited characteristics
definition of woke.
like
I'm
race,
just saying.
gender.
But how I just don't understand how they can define it even remotely closely with it and then go on to like bash it with a straight face. Like it really does speak to you. What did you say in somebody's chat yesterday that people really do sniff their own turds? It's a thing.
Right. No, yeah, because he was trying to say it was like something more than it was. And I'm like, no, sometimes like people just really like believe the bullshit, you know? I've seen it with YouTubers.
What?
And I mean, there's some that I'm just like, where it's like Jimmy Dore, where like, nah, he's straight grifting. And then there's other people like, I'm going to say it, Nate Brody, where I think he's just been hanging around too many right wingers and he's not hearing enough of the other side to like have well-rounded opinions. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, some people, I do not think that's what she's doing. Everyone at PragerU is a grifter, full stop.
Yeah.
And that's why you
100%.
don't see them recruiting Jesse Lee Peterson. He is too stupid even for them. If you believe the bullshit, you're not going to be smart enough to stay ahead of the curve and keep making money for the 1%.
This is just, I just thought even this is bad even for PragerU. Like this is
no.
I guess
this is on brand.
What's interesting is that I guess what's weird in my mind is trying to balance how do you spend so much resources on production and not like any on even dressing up your content and like making, you know what I mean? Like it's so high, extremely high effort with the production and then just pure
I think you either get one or the other.
Laziness with the
like you get PragerU, who's just like flash, like it needs to look good, and then you get shit like Answers in Genesis, where they go out of their way to hire scientists to create papers for their own ass, but like it looks legit as fuck, right? Like they could, to the untrained eye or homeschooled kids, almost look like, like this is, and I've heard a lot of people say, I just go to Answers in Genesis and I put the thing into the search bar and I get what I need.
Wow.
And the reason that they're starting to do, they've been doing it for quite a few years now, like their own terms for shit, like evolutionist. You're not going to find an actual scientific journal that uses that term. Anytime you say that, it's going to go to some kind of answers in Genesis bullshit. So even if you go to the main internet to try to like, quote unquote, do your own research, they're going to give you the terms to put in that you will only find from them, because nobody in their right mind would say something like, you know, I don't know, what's some bullshit that
Hey,
they
Miss
say?
Sassy. I
You
think
know,
Miss Sassy's
hey, Miss Sassy, long time no see.
good to see you. Go ahead.
But I mean, it's just like bullshit like that, where, you know, you either get that, like, the research, or you get, I don't know, these cartoon characters. They all have their own niche. Or you get a talking bobblehead, like, you know, they put on Fox News.
Yeah, yeah. I like this guy's, I guess this is his place or his office. Nice room.
Basically,
Oh, yeah,
borrows from the tropes of Marxism, which was this oppressor-oppressed narrative. But wokeism was was not just Marxism. It was the merger of Marxism with identity politics. The idea that you are nothing more and nothing less than the genetic stock that you inherit on the day.
Whoa. Whoa. Identity politics is you are nothing more and nothing less
than the genetic
stock that you inherit on the day you're born. This is
no. That is actually
wow.
what the 1% believes. That's legit actually what they believe. What Marx believed is that all men are equal and that the workers should share the means of production.
Pretty. There it is.
Well, should own the means of production, I would say. How do you talk about Marx without that phrase? Like, what the fuck? Marx is identity politics. What?
That's what.
First of all politics are identity politics.
Yes,
nobody votes for the greater good. Even like, you know, I might when I'm talking about abortion, because like, God willing, I'm past all that. But like, so I have the luxury of being able to think about the greater good and things like that. But there's also things that I want for my children and my grandchildren specifically. And that's most Americans. We're selfish. We are selfish motherfuckers. It's all about who we are and what you can do to me. And I've done a lot of canvassing with politicians.
Yeah, see.
First thing out of everybody's mouth. Now, what do you stand for? You know, what's your platform? What can you do for me? Who the fuck are you? I have your name. Like, can you tell me what you want?
Yeah, it's wild.
No, this is
we should talk about that sometime. So I feel like that's real politics. If you've gone canvassing, you understand the process. Yeah. But yeah, this is so weird. It's weird, one, to me, how they're obviously trying to redefine all of the words because they just got to take us way off in the la la land. But it's also interesting, too, because to me, they are these things. Like, to me, the thing I would say about the right is they're woke. They're totally sensitive to all of these issues, and they're always playing identity politics. It's just that they use these issues to oppress people and to do awful shit and to like be terrible, horrible people. But there are so many of these issues that I would not know about if it wasn't for the right wing's obsession with them. Like most of us were not nearly as concerned with queer issues as the right wing are. And now we're all fucking every
queer people are not as obsessed with it.
Exactly. And now literally all of us is dealing with this shit every single day because they're outraged that, again, two male penguins raised another baby penguin in a children's book. And again, none of us knew there was a children's book about two male penguins raising a little penguin until the right wing lost their goddamn minds about it. But that's how it is with all of this stuff.
I had no idea who Dylan Mulvaney was.
Exactly. So I just really want to counter their narrative sometimes and be like, y'all are woke. I don't know what you want me to tell you, but y'all are literally obsessed with the identity politics and the fucking social issues and who's on the campaign, who's getting represented. Oh my God, the Little Mermaid is black.
Right. Oh no, not a black mermaid. That's totally against whatever the Bible said. No,
Yeah.
but like real quick, Miss Sassy asked a question like, what even is genetic stock? I don't know. But what I do know is that it's a racist dog whistle and a nod towards eugenics.
Yes, it
And
is.
you should be very, very scared if anyone near you uses that term. Because that's the type of people that are forming their moral values. And just fucking run. I don't like I'm not, I know it sounds like hyperbole. But if somebody said blah 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 genetic stock, you picked your shit up and you literally ran out of the room, like it wouldn't be like too broad of a gesture.
No, it's weird. It's a really weird thing to say, and it also is a complete misrepresentation of, like, nobody on the left ever says this ever. I don't like this is it's a weird thing. But yeah, it's racist. And that's what's so weird to all these people is they I guess they really think if they just do all this dog whistling and nonsense, like, people won't see through it. But I'm like, yo, we see you, we hear you.
Yeah.
And I hate to say this, but you have to be racist to want to misdefine woke this badly. You can throw identity politics with some weird ass definition under the bus with Marxism, and then go out and be like, yeah, now let's talk about what's so fucked up with this wokeness. I mean, I think people who have an ounce of energy to give towards being anti-woke are many, many ounces of racist. Like, I don't know who else does this. I'm sorry. It's just weird.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah, Amala's a pick me.
Fuck yeah.
But she got picked, baby.
So that's what you sort of refer to as the trend of modern wokeness.
Okay.
Now, this is a fringe philosophy. I mean, this was a theory from the halls of academia, and it was a challenge to the system. It was an interesting set of ideas. Does it mean it was all coherent? No, not necessarily.
Wow.
But it was interesting. It was provocative. It was a different way of looking at human relations. It was an interesting worldview in some classroom at some liberal arts university somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But wokeness at some point moved from being about being a challenge to the system to becoming the system.
What?
So to really understand the origin story of wokeism, you have to understand academia first. That's where it was born.
Oh my!
It was born as an infant there, became an adolescent somewhere else. But let's start with.
All right, let's be clear.
Wow, it's a lot of bullshit to parse through.
I consider myself, unfortunately, at least so far, a university man. But Nair social movement has started at a university ever.
No, I mean it can't. Like I don't even know what that would mean.
It's like where you study shit, not where you change shit. Like what would that?
Like
a bunch
Like
of professors. A bunch of professors got together one day in the back room of the Ivy Leagues and decided that racism was time to take down the system. Like what the? Like no, just no.
I don't even know what that means. I mean, it's one thing if there's an idea that started out of a university, and somebody took that and did more with it. But like a movement is just so, I mean, for it to be considered a movement, it would have to be larger than that. Like I'm trying to think of like stuff that happened, like even when you're talking about like maybe a large like Amazon unionizing, like in any Amazon factory, we're talking about hundreds of people. That's not a movement until it starts catching, like you start getting like Amazon unionization catching on like wildfire across the nation. That's a movement.
Right.
So, I mean, like just the thought that a movement can be spurned from a university is absurd on its face, and why you shouldn't talk to the 1% about things that it is trying to quell.
Yeah, and you also shouldn't. You should be very suspicious of anybody that tells you like the boogeyman starts at school.
Right.
Very...
Oh, yeah. You know what? That is a great point, and that's why he's tying it to college, because they want you to be stupid.
They want you to be so stupid.
Huge movement by the right to undermine education.
Yeah. And that's the narrative now, right? Is that an education is going to it's going to leave you 6 figures in debt. Now, look, there's always a little bit of truth. They're absolutely right. The cost of education is out of control and the debt is wild. But they're going to make you think that all you're going to get out of that is a bunch of liberal, woke indoctrination. They're going to make you double major in Mediterranean figurine studies and new wave aesthetics, and no one's ever going to hire you. And you're just don't waste your time. Just don't waste your time. You're gonna get a useless degree and a bunch of useless stuff, and no one's ever gonna want to marry you because because you have too much debt. Right.
Or especially for women, it's just like, well, you're going to go to, you need to just like settle down and have some kids, because you're going to go to that liberal indoctrination center and focus on your career and forget about Jesus. And
no good Christian man is going to want to marry you when you're 22 and you have student loan debt. Sorry, you're. But what kind of nonsense?
I have to address something real quick. Wesley, I love you. You're allowed to stay in my chat, but if you start with all caps and talking about anything that's not on point, I will fucking smite you like the mighty Yahweh. Calm the fuck down.
Wesley Curry?
Yeah.
Oh no.
No, this is Black Day. You don't get to come up in here with all your bullshit, talking about what you want it to be about. This is my stream. We're talking about what the fuck I want. I'm the queen bitch here. And it's not about you.
Yeah.
Just calm your ass down and listen to it being about me.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I have some ideas up in here. And people want to hear what they are. You see all these people? Yeah. 188 people that all want to hear what I think. And ain't none of them here for you.
Yeah.
Go on somewhere with that shit. I'm tired.
And we got to listen to these other morons right now. Just can't have too much vileness.
I can't do, and it's so hard. Like I am. I'm a good girl. I'm a good mod. Like I will have the conversations with people, but like I'm streaming. I can't Amala and Wesley. Like,
I'm a premature ejaculator. It means I block people early and often. Block. Jay, he just looked at you. Block.
I hate blocking, but Wesley and Blessed Be He, like they really
I
have gotten under my skin lately.
Yeah.
And again, I don't want them to not come. I just want them to behave. Like,
no, I blocked Blessed Be He and Praise I Am. the whole gang of scripture droppers, they just want to drop that wall of scripture in your chat. Oh man.
I'm saying though, I've read the Bible like twice. I went to Catholic school, so like way more than that. If we're not counting cover to cover, like I don't need it. Like I don't need like your cherry picked verses. Like if we go round and round about it, it'll be Bible stream, and assholes welcomed. Like that's when you come in here with your shit. But like we're not. Like today's not that day. It's Juneteenth. Either celebrate my blackness or get the fuck out.
Exactly. My only question is gonna be now: who the fuck around and invited Wesley to the cookout? Y'all know that.
Which one of you
motherfuckers? Oh man,
that's where it began.
At the end of the day, the rise of wokeism wasn't an overnight phenomenon. It's actually been in the works for years. So like many bad ideas, wokeism started in academia. But why? And why didn't it stay in the ivory tower? How did this cancer infect every other area of society?
Which academia?
I needed to talk to somebody who understood academia and from a long-term, multifaceted perspective. And so I traveled to Washington, D.C. to talk to a visionary.
Okay, I just gotta say, Look, y'all, I love money. I love nice things, and traveling is super fun. But this whole like travel docudrama,
Right.
I wanted to talk. I needed 3 lines from this guy, so I went to Columbus. Then I needed to talk to this other guy. So, bitch, you ever heard of Skype?
Right. You know, because my meeting app was completely down. I couldn't afford internet, but I could damn sure afford that plane ticket. Like, what are we doing now?
This is it's literally just production value for the sake of production value. It's just
No,
wouldn't it be cool if we flew you all over here? Yeah, that'd be really impressive. Cool, let's do it.
No, I mean, it's so funny because like when I watch like liberal channels do shit like this, it's always them on their cell phone talking to, you know, the Smithsonian or, you know, guy at, you know, this college.
Right.
They're never like sitting down with the head of anything. It's always the guy that did the actual research paper, you know, for asking for clarifying questions or, you know, somebody whose field this is. I don't know. I don't.
And it's a good point too, because mostly even when we do see the small time people get to travel, you know, they got the selfie stick and they got to shoot them. So they took a crew, right? She's got the crew and the.
Oh yeah, clearly.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, she didn't like stop and ask like random stranger, like, "Hey, will you just take this picture of me like wandering from here to there?" No, you had the camera guy, the light guy, the mic guy, like they're all right there.
Yeah, so they're gang. This is apologetics jet setting style. This is, you know, the
who did something many
class.
people consider to be impossible. He founded a new college that now rivals the Ivy League. This is Michael Ferris. He started Patrick Henry College, a classical.
Okay. Pause the tape. First off, gang, nobody you know themselves in modern times has ever started a university to rival the Ivy Leagues. You just know right there.
Yeah.
You sitting on.
I started a college last week, and already Yale is like, holy shit. Because that's how academia works.
Yes, no, and then they name drop this college I've never heard of before. What is this? Patrick Henry Morris University. Look, let me just apologize to all the Patrick Henry Morris alum out there. Y'all do your thing. It's just there's a lot of colleges I haven't heard of all of them. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just it's not your fault. She set y'all up for this. She made a claim y'all couldn't back up, but. Do your thing, Morrisites. I don't know the mascot. What the fuck is that?
Oh God.
Liberal Arts College just outside of Washington, D.C.
Yeah. Go for it.
Patrick Henry College was incorporated in 1998 by Michael Ferris, current president of the Alliance Defending Freedom and founder and chairman of the Homeschool Legal Defense Association.
Oh my goodness. It's literally a homeschool university.
Yeah. Like this is who this fucker is.
Yes. Oh, see, now he should have said that rivals the Ivy Leagues of homeschools, and we'd have been like, yes, yes.
No,
yes.
And I would have agreed with him. Yes, it is the most accurate statement in the whole fucking video.
This is the Dartmouth of right-wing universities.
In only 20 years of the college's existence, Patrick Henry graduates have become leaders in the highest halls of power, including Congress, Hollywood, and the White House. And this sort of cultural impact was by design. Ferris has been fighting wokeism before it was even called wokeism. And more importantly, he's been winning.
And I dare anyone to read my legal analysis.
Through Patrick Henry College, Mike is taking the battle against woke to the source by educating new generations of students in a rigorous, truth-focused education.
A rigorous, truth-focused education. You already know this is a propaganda mill,
he's in
y'all.
court winning what though? Like, what are we even talking about here?
He's winning battles against wokeism. Which I hate to say this, gang. He's not. Nobody's winning battles against wokeism, but look, we have to see how serious this is. Like again, they are more committed to the wokeism and the identity politics than we are, gang. Like, we have not actually started any real accredited universities in the name of wokeism. I mean, it's been a long time since we've even started a new historically black college up in this bitch. Like, but they are really trying to recruit the homeschool militia into right-wing propaganda universities so they can, I mean, this is Stephanie's point, right? Which is that the Tucker Carlsons and not even the Tucker Carlsons, let's say the Amalas and this new blood of these right-wingers, we're going to be dealing with them our whole lives.
Oh
because
my God, this motherfucker, played a behind-the-scenes role in the December lawsuit filed by Republican attorneys general to overturn the 2020 presidential election.
Oh no!
These are the cases he's winning. None of those were won.
None of those were won.
There's like 60 in total. I'm not saying he did all 60, but like.
And you just know all of that bullshit.
All 0 wins there.
In 20 years, their graduates have gone on to do all this. It was just like, yeah, they work for this, somebody works for Right Side Broadcasting News. Somebody was the desk secretary in the Trump administration. Somebody else is a camera operator at Fox News. That's their distinguished alumni roster, but they make it sound like these are Pulitzer Prize winners.
I know we
and
have
shit.
like every sentence of hers to debunk, but I have to let you know about this. So the Alliance the Human Rights Campaign looked into them, and they like the top 10 ways that they're supposedly working to protect their freedom to discriminate is what they're calling it. Their freedom to discriminate. Working to promote its non-inclusive agenda, ADF is the nation's largest anti-LGBT legal advocacy group in the nation, raising over $178 million over the past 5 years, with an annual of over $45 million and rapidly expanding. They practically invented marriage discrimination. They literally wrote the original language for discriminatory same-sex marriage bans in Ohio in 2005. Sticking their head in the sand, ADF stubbornly refuses to stop defending same-sex marriage bans, even when leaders in those states abandon them. They want the freedom to discriminate. They sued cities and states for passing LGBT inclusive anti-discrimination laws and ordinances. They stand up for bigotry. They enthusiastically defend the rights of businesses to discriminate against LGBT. They protect bullying of LGBTQ children. Forget about dignity and respect. They think they know best. They fought to overrule principals and stop schools from treating transgender students with the dignity and respect they deserve, arguing parents are supposed to be okay with allowing such boys and girls to use restroom and locker rooms in the facilities. It's a question. That's number 5. There's like more. That was half.
Oh my goodness.
Holy fucking
These
shit.
What the
they
actual
of course
fuck?
are pseudoscience pushers.
Oh my goodness! But no, this is serious.
Yeah,
this is serious because
this is who because she's not doing this. So I want you to know who she's talking to and who we are supposed to be listening to as the authority
on woke. This is crazy, but look, it's deep because you were talking about following the money in politics. We also need to follow the money in media. And so we kind of picked this because it was like, oh, this will be easy. It's PragerU talking about woke. They'll just everything they say will be wrong. But, this is getting at a bigger story, which is they're wrong in all of the ways that shows that they're like part of the media operation of these big conservative corporate conglomerates, right? The same way if you like a good thing you get from secession is like thinking about how Fox News deliberately plays into the cultural narrative, right, of the propaganda. And as the traditional broadcast media model dies, it's the new media giants, right? And PragerU is absolutely one of the right-wing, pretty large new media platforms, right? And these are the type of assholes that they're in bed with. This is crazy because this is essentially just straight up corporate propaganda at this point.
Yeah, 100%. That's all this is for both of them. I could have gone on the same tangent with the last guy too. Like all they're doing is bankrolling motherfuckers like her, so that they're empowered to the highest extent to be able to quash any kind of populist agenda. I mean, the populist agenda, really.
Right. Yeah, this is insane, y'all. There's layers to this. There's a lot of fucked up money here.
And I'm willing to bet they each have money, have put money into PragerU. I would be shocked if that wasn't true.
Oh, who, those companies? Yes. Yeah. And I bet you that information is private as hell because they're probably not publicly traded or anything. So
I'm not going to look into it. I'm just going to state it as a fact because apparently you can do that and get away with it.
Hey, it's the internet. It's got to be true.
What's your
I'd be honored
there?
if people started fact checking us.
Right.
We fucking
Seriously,
please. Where I was seeing it mostly was in the schools of education. They were teaching there is no truth, but what they meant is we're going to undermine the objective truth that you believe in and pretend that all truth is relative. And we're going to follow that up eventually with our truth. And
Is he reading from his own playbook?
Now we're going to jam our truth down
Seriously,
your
it's
throat.
just
and you better
all
kneel.
projection.
Right.
You raise a generation that's told at the university that nobody can disagree with you. You take that attitude at campus, you think that's the way the whole world should be like, and
No
that's
one's
what you
ever been
believe.
told
That's the
this
way
in their
you're
entire
trained.
life.
And you will not be a friend of truth.
Here's the other thing that they figured out is I think universities are inherently liberalizing, and they should be. Students are young. They're getting away from home. They're meeting people from across the world. They're becoming aware of social issues that bother them. And so they're a reliable boogeyman for them, right? There's always going to be college kids who are fucking around and wanting to make the world a better place. Bunch of undergrads running around drinking, screwing, and supporting communism. And they're like, hey, we could cash in on this.
I mean, yeah. I mean, for them or for the universities, which one are we talking about?
I think I'm saying like the moneyed interest
PragerU.
behind PragerU. Yeah, they
okay.
realize
I thought you
like
were saying
that's
colleges do this, and I'm like, they teach the truth.
No. I'm as a university person. I think like college. Like I don't hide the fact that like I'm the liberal professor from God Is Not Dead 5. Right. I'm like woke, trying to like deconvert your student with my atheist evolutionary, but overall, I think the institutions shouldn't shy away from the fact that, we're colleges. We educate people. That tends to make them open their minds and think progressively. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. So, like,
I mean, and the thing is, I do believe, honestly, that professors are just excited to teach about their field. And they are honestly just trying to get the truth out to their students and help them understand, as much as they can about the subject matter within the confines of, class time and yada, yada. It's not hard to be on the left. All you have to do is understand what's actually true. The entire platform of the right is misinformation. Nothing they do is based in fact.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, all you have to do to be on the left right now is to know facts. Like,
well, yeah, that's kind of what I mean. Like, and if that's you're
indoctrinating them with actual facts, making them liberal. I mean, I think it's more telling about you than the colleges.
100%. If your ideas can't survive an undergraduate education, it should make you question your ideas.
I got through my undergrad with my Catholicism intact.
Yes. Seriously.
Like I had a high B average, so I was paying attention to shit. I don't know.
Also,
But
it's
again,
there's
I
also a
was
false
Catholic,
narrative.
so we didn't again, science didn't undermine God. The Bible said that God did it. Science said how God did it. They went hand in hand. So that this whole thing where you're not allowed to know facts, they're shooting themselves in the head.
Yeah. Also, I think liberal professors leave an impression on students mostly because you contribute to genuine growth and change in their thinking, and that sticks with them. But it's one of those things where it's like a spike in your memory. It's not reflective of your actual experience. And what I mean by that is most professors are not liberal at all. At all. Most liberal professors stick out like a sore thumb in most departments, because departments are all about funding and money and conservative fucktards and sucking up to donors and sucking up to funding organizations. And most liberal crazy people don't want to be bothered. Right. And the universities themselves are incredibly conservative, right? They're sucking off the teat of the state and private fucking donors and tuition dollars based on their public image. So none of that leans conservative at all in any way, shape, or form, right? So I only wish universities were as leftist and progressive as fucking right-wingers make them out to be, right?
I mean, if they were, they'd be in a lot of trouble, honestly.
Yeah. A little bit of backstory with this one. So Stephanie said, despite the name, PragerU is not an academic institution, does not hold classes, does not grant certifications or diplomas, and is not accredited by any recognized body. But they were the inspiration for the Church of the Flying Man, because the idea was the idea was that if churches that essentially are YouTube channels can start fake universities, then atheist YouTubers should be able to start fake churches that are really just YouTube channels. But yeah, that was the idea. It was like we should start a church and see how they like it.
I don't think you were in the community when Shannon Q started. I don't think it was an actual church, but she got a bunch of people the reverends or whatever, and they started doing gay marriages people. And all this shit. Yeah. Hey, I'm about hilarious.
That life. I would love to get ordained so I can marry some secular people or whatever. That'd be pretty fun. All right, let's get back into this propaganda film here.
You will not be a friend of freedom. You're going to be a friend of repressing anybody who doesn't follow the party line. The tyranny that's in place today believes that the heart, soul, and mind of man belongs to government.
Wow.
And that mantra has been taken up by big corporations.
So the Muslim senators, the World Health Organization, Bill Gates, who, isn't going to be husband of the decade, but I don't think is a threat to society in any real meaningful way. This is just wild and ass propaganda, y'all.
Social media giants and so on. And
fuck Zuckerberg.
That
you can take that his ass.
Impulse is the opposite of liberty or progressivism or anything, any of the traditional meanings of those terms.
See,
oh, hey, real quick. Yeah, so she did start a church. So it's the Church of Sexual Humanism or Secular Humanism. Sexual Humanism is I like it.
The Church of Sexual Humanism? I like that. That's a good...
Yeah, I wasn't that into it. I just knew that Shannon was doing a thing. But yeah, I know Purple said that she was actually ordained.
The high priest of useless information.
I love it.
Nice.
But yeah, a bunch of people were. So that was fun.
Good
Anyways,
shit.
but yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, I appreciate the update.
Our country was a liberal democracy. We're fast becoming a totalitarian, bureaucratically run country. Not a democracy and not a republic.
We need to walk, we need to march, we need to shout.
Transgender rights are one of the most important civil rights movements of our lifetime.
We can enact change in this country.
those masks.
So you teach a generation that truth is subjective and ever evolving. You brainwash them to accept no alternative viewpoints. It's the woke way or no way. And then you release them into every industry of our society.
Yeah, and who is saying that truth is subjective? Again,
I know she's making like a blind claim there, but like the sentence doesn't even make sense. Like what she's saying, like if true, that would be objective.
Right.
Like it's my way or no way. That isn't. I am presenting that as an objective fact.
She absolutely is 100%, 100%. Which is why this is always so dumb. But she's just stuck on that apologist shit where they literally think talking about objective and subjective and there is no truth and all of this stuff is going to really
oh my God. I totally
scare people.
I didn't even pick up on that. You're right.
Yeah.
No, this is a dig at the trans movement. There are objective truths. Men are men.
Yes, and then it's my truth and your truth.
And
that's where this is going.
It came right after them shitting on like the trans movement. So yeah, I know that this is well written. Thank you for picking up on this shit.
It's fucked up.
Holy
These
shit.
people are
it's
fucked.
just so many levels of fucked up. And I'm sure there are things that I'm missing. But I'm like, oh, like, you know what? Like, if you are so inclined, that probably like ate into your brain, like the brain worms got in there just the right way.
Well, it's like the foxification too. Like they're fast images and Bernie and like AOC and Omar. Like they're just really trying to throw up really fast sequence of scary images. But again, they're telling on themselves because they're giving away the bigotry at the heart of all of this.
But for their followers, like they don't see it as bigotry. They think that it's like what she's saying here. It's just a fact.
And it's why she's a super
and
queen.
Facts are not subjective. I just believe facts. You guys are trying to make up your own facts.
Right. And her viewers can't be racist, can't be bigoted because black woman Amala told them this is how it is.
Right.
Perhaps the most pernicious infiltration? The indoctrination tool for the masses. Entertainment.
You mean like you?
Right.
For years, everyday Americans have complained about woke Hollywood. But we're not here to complain.
Female Ghostbusters is woke Hollywood.
I decided to talk to a man who is doing just that, creating an alternative to Hollywood and multiple other industries.
One type of woman gets to express her opinions and her views.
The Daily Wire?
Oh my God!
Wait, that's not.
Oh my God! Hey, I'm not doing dinner. What the fuck?
I know. She's just
wait. Oh my God!
Guys, all the bad guys.
Just like holy shit, like the queen of hell herself.
Yes, right-wing influencer Brett Cooper. Oh my goodness.
And this is so interesting. It's like we're gonna go from like woke Hollywood and celebrity influencers and oh yeah, but my bestie Brett over here, who's like not into any of that shit, she's gonna tell us how bad woke is.
This is like
this is bad.
Bubblegum level. Oh, this is really bad. Yeah, it's bad. Let's leave it at that. Oh, it's terrible.
That is. Meet Jeremy Boring. Jeremy is the co-founder of a media and entertainment company called The Daily Wire. They push buttons. They tell the truth. And they're working every day to create both news and
this is a marriage made in fucking hell. PragerU and The Daily Wire.
It really is.
The left. And Daily Wire
Shapiro
wanted
busy.
to correct that.
Welcome back to the comments.
We produce written articles, news articles. We produce podcasts. We're the 5th largest podcast publisher in the world. But beyond the Daily Wire, we've expanded into something we're calling Daily Wire Plus. And it's really a broader cultural entertainment play. We're making movies, we're making television shows, we're making...
it's PureFlix. They're making their own PureFlix, gang. You can just own because that's the new model. It's you got to start new media to build up a following and a subscriber base, and then if you're real big, you can launch your own platform, right? And then you don't have to keep sharing ad revenue with social media platforms and YouTube and all this bullshit.
Kids entertainment, which I think
and
is
you can
probably
really
the most important
capture
fight we will
24
ever take
hours of
on.
your audience.
Yeah.
They've also started
exactly.
making some pretty awesome products that offer an alternative to woke companies and other industries as well.
Yes, this is
Jeremy's
the
Razors
ridiculous.
is a consumer goods alternative to companies like Gillette and Harry's Razors, who have all publicly embraced the LGBT agenda. And not just the LGBT agenda, the radical gender theory being pushed on children. Daily Wire Plus.
These people are the worst.
So Wayne just woke up and wants to know if this looks like a. He said it looks like a dumpster fire. Should I tell him or do you? The honor.
No, you're good. We're doing a critical analysis of the hybridization of Daily Wire and PragerU. How could that be anything but, esteemed, elevating, intellectual nuggets?
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. Like, we brought in the segment with a guy with a blowtorch, like setting. I mean, it really needed to be a dumpster that he was setting on fire.
It really
like
should have
nothing
been.
could have been more apropos.
Absolutely.
Holy shit.
But this is insane. Like, I have seen this, but think about this whole idea. Like, Snickers, makes a rainbow package for Pride Month, and then they're like, then they make an entirely fake Snickers company just so that you don't have to buy woke Snickers.
Woke Snickers. Well, was it Garth Brooks? Had to postpone the opening of his bar because he intended on selling Bud Light in it. I mean, you can go and not buy the Bud Light.
Shit.
But no, fuck it. We'd rather just cancel Garth Brooks. But the wokest, they're still the evil cancel culture people. Because we're the ones burning our own shit because the man got down on his own knee.
Yeah, it's just the hate runs really deep. But I hate to say this. I'm always joking that you don't need a civil war when a civil divorce will do. Bye, right. Felicia. Y'all could take the South. Like I don't know, have at it.
To you.
But they want to, if this is how deep they want to take it, where like, we'll go to McDonald's and they'll go to Upside Down, Golden Arch, M's.
They just gave us Chick-fil-A. I'm all for it.
They just gave us Chick-fil-A.
You can take
right?
Y'all can take Wendy's.
Yeah. We'll I get some Chick-fil-A on Sunday, and we'll call it a deal. But yeah, this is just so weird. Like the hatred with these people.
Right now, at Jeremy's Razors, we have sold over 100,000 Razor subscriptions. I think all of that is because the half of the country that up until now has been divided by nothing. They've had no alternatives whatsoever, are eager and hungry to engage with those alternatives when they're presented, especially if we're not exploiting them, if we're actually providing value.
And notice how they didn't split it north and south, but they literally drew a country split. Like, they're just so...
It's stupid. We know this, but like, since the 80s, like, you can't find left-wing media in a red state. Like, it has all been like Rush Limbaugh and who's the fucker that died?
And that's the funny thing is these companies that they keep saying are woke. First off, let's be real. None of these companies...
Rush was the one that died. Alex Jones is the other one I was thinking about.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's all like these kinds of people. And that, like, you can't... I know that Tom Hartman said that he started like putting like his show on in like some channels just so they have something there if they want it. Like there's zero, there is nothing. He said he's losing money on it. Like that's how, like, which means that nobody else is doing that. Nobody else is broadcasting out to red states because they know there's no money in it. And Tom Hartman cares so much about the future of the country that he's just like, if you want an alternative, here I am. Right. But, and he actually, I listened to a lot of his call-ins. So like they're hearing him, they're calling him, they're talking to him about stuff. But like, we need more of that. Like they don't.
Yeah. I think Pakman
when
loses
they're
money
talking
on
about
his right state stuff too.
There's no alternative. It's nothing like, I have watched so many people in red states like try to get Dems on a ticket. They can't get money because it's not seen as viable. Like that's where it's one-sided. It's not. I mean, they keep talking about, oh, it's been this woke liberal. It's been this woke liberal. Not in red states. You can't. In red areas, you cannot find the truth or anybody speaking on it. Right now, they're saying they're starting to rebel against NPR because it's too liberal.
I didn't hear the sample, Ancher. But yeah, Maya, the other thing is these companies are not woke. These companies are just barely trying to make a couple of extra bucks. You know, oh, it's Pride Month. Oh, let's sell some extra candy bars or whatever. But these are companies that we either all knew yesterday, literally, as problematic, or we barely know as not racist. Like Budweiser. Y'all, I would be worried that a lynching of black people would be celebrated at a NASCAR event sponsored by Budweiser, while a car draped in Budweiser stuff runs around the track while my ancestors sit there like hanging on a Sunday morning. You know, and to seriously give credit, like NASCAR has done a lot to be not racist the last few years, and these companies are making an effort. But literally, most of these companies, not 5 or 10 years ago, we were complaining and feeling very unsafe about their economic. Like Budweiser has probably funded. I don't even want to look at their fucking campaign finance. Like they are seriously got to be one of the biggest right-wing conservative funding companies. Like, but literally you just put a rainbow flag on a beer can and they're ready to not only cancel you, but start an alternative company. But it's crazy to me because I'm like, I hope y'all don't think we're confused where we all of a sudden think Target, who probably has a stack of fucking HR disputes about racism and discrimination against LGBTQ employees, and I'm sure the average female executive at Target makes 65% of what their male counterparts do. None of these companies are fucking woke, right? It's like they've literally just, hey, let's move a couple extra pride units and all hell has broken loose. But gang, please do not think for a second that all of a sudden, these are the fucking companies that we can count on. I am sure the NRA is still sponsored by most of these conservative ass fucking companies. It's just crazy. They just have zero tolerance. Like they won't tolerate.
They will not tolerate anything that isn't unfair to the other side. Like if you're not actively trying to genocide, then we're not going to tolerate. You're too woke for us. And we won't tolerate you.
Oh, yeah, they treat Bubba Wallace like shit. Again, Crystal, y'all have one black driver. How about you don't be racist to the one black driver? But they put a noose in the man's garage. Then they fucking made him like a bad guy because he got support from people like, yeah, that's pretty fucked up. It's just weird. Again, like, I'm a race fan. So I'm not trying to shit, but it's just crazy how much pushback if you're not completely 100% on board with white supremacy at all times.
Right.
It's crazy.
Then I think that there's an enormous opportunity to succeed.
That's the only thing you think. There's a lot of money to be made off racism.
It was pretty easy to see coming, but what happened next? No one expected. Sports went woke.
Went woke.
See that guy standing while everyone else is kneeling?
Wanted to be acknowledged.
That's Jonathan Isaac.
Human being.
So
he plays
crazy.
for the Orlando Magic in the NBA. He also happened to be one of the few NBA players who publicly expressed discomfort with supporting the Black Lives Matter movement.
Oh my God! They found
this all came to a head.
They literally like combed through NBA rosters to find the coon that no one's heard of.
Players on his team decided to collectively kneel during the national anthem. So he did what he felt was right. He stood. Now,
And no one
Jonathan is
cares.
launching his own apparel company called Unite Us, in hopes of bringing people together over love of God and country.
Oh, the coonery is so deep.
I mean, are there really people on the left that are like boycotting any like, did he get boycotted, or were people calling for his head because he stood during the national anthem, like the fans?
Bro, nobody knew. This wasn't a story.
I was gonna say I didn't hear about this.
They worked very hard to find this. I've never even heard of this dude.
Unitas
All right,
is a
real
sports
quick,
and
real
apparel.
quick.
Yeah.
I support you if you kneel. I support you if you stand. This is your country, and like the national anthem means something different to all of us. And like whatever it's just a form of expression. It's not disrespectful. And I mean, if you care more about a symbol than the actual person is supposed to stand for, like you've got issues, sit down. Maybe you should actually sit down and shut the fuck up. Holy shit.
Yeah, this is absolutely. This is crazy. And also, like, again, like, this is they had to dig so deep for this cut here. Like nobody would know this man's story. Like they are just trying to make something out of nothing.
And the basis of it for me is freedom. You have companies that are in that field who have made a conscious decision to either attack or undermine Christian values, conservative values and things like that. And I think
flag isn't a Christian or conservative value.
As much as I disagree, but I feel that we also have a freedom to create what we want to create.
Wait, so like, I don't
Just
understand what that means. Like, is
aggressive.
he saying that standing for the flag is a Christian and or conservative value? What did I miss?
Yeah, because he believes that's what he said. Christian, conservative. He's on that patriotic coon tip, and so that's the Christian in him couldn't allow him to kneel for the flag and acknowledge Black Lives Matter. This is
Can
just
somebody
self-hatred.
find the Bible verse where Jesus says to stand for the American flag?
This is just.
I'm a
It's
little
just.
confused.
This is just. It's just. Oh, this is just terrible. It's just another. I hope he grows. Right? He's young.
My
He's a young
Christian
man. He's a
conservative
young
values
man.
say that white people should be allowed to kill me at will.
He's trying to.
What the
He's
fuck
trying
are
to.
you
He's trying to
saying?
impress his grandma. He's trying to impress grandma.
I don't understand.
He's trying to impress grandma.
The hope is to be able to sign athletes across all different sports and to create a real infrastructure of people who are in the sports world, moms and dads who want to buy their kids sneakers and clothes, but want to give their money to a company that they know is going to work towards bolstering their values.
Ready to go, up in the way, moving the tide, starting the way.
We can be proud of what we believe in. We don't have to hide or be ashamed of it. As the day continues to get, darker and darker and crazier, you standing up for what you believe in is only going to get
Let
harder,
your Jesus freak
but it's only
flag
gonna become more
fly.
necessary.
Roll the dice, oh you wanna try, left to right, hey it's time to slide.
It's DC Talk's favorite basketball player.
Hey, 2 times, hey, oh my, keep it moving side to side.
But it didn't end in sports. We all know the story. It felt like the flip of a switch.
Sports.
Like every
That was a-
company
that
in
was a
America
sport.
That was
suddenly
one
spouting
guy
the woke orthodoxy.
who nobody
Anyone
play. He doesn't
disagreed
even
with them
play.
happened to
ousted,
play
condemned, and
basketball.
silenced.
I don't even
Perfect
think he
example?
plays.
Amanda
Like for
Ensign.
real, I don't think he's a starter or a star. Like what?
People love to complain about the culture and the environment, but they don't do anything. We need to be creating our own verticals and our own industries where we're competing.
This is Amanda
What
Ensign.
is this?
She's an entrepreneur, a beauty influencer, and a general badass boss lady. She started out beauty influencing with sponsorships from Sephora and other huge makeup brands. But when armchair critics started criticizing Amanda for stating her personal political beliefs, Sephora immediately canceled her
Good for them.
sponsorships
Good
and
for
went so
them.
far as to publicly condemn Amanda.
So for me,
Get
I
the
was
fuck
like, you
outta
know what?
here.
The beauty industry is in shambles. It only caters to one party, one set of views. Let's create my own brand.
Wait, hold up.
They're such grifters.
I mean, does the beauty industry cater to a political view?
No.
Like, I mean, last time I
It
checked,
caters to rich.
right? I mean, not even like fucking Mac, Sephora. Like, are they left wing or right? I'm going to go with right, just
Right.
because
They're
fucking
all
billionaires.
seriously.
But everybody wears their shit like proudly. I don't know, like, you know, they were only catering to one side. Does this mean they weren't like bigoted enough? I couldn't tell if they believed in Jesus because like they weren't taking away anybody's right.
Exactly. And it's always
Fuck.
and all they always see is dollar signs. They tell on themselves. This whole video is, and then we realized there was a huge value industry in being a fucking asshole. Like literally the first dude that we came to, right? He was like, well, it starts at the university, and then we realized you gotta and then the next guy started his own school, and then then this guy started his own clothing line, and then and now she's the right-wing beauty queen. Like they just realized there's a lot of dumbass right-wingers who want to give their money to other bigots. And if you just let them know up front that you're a fucking bigot too, they will give you their money. Like that's what this is about. I realized it's profitable to be an asshole. This reminds me of, I haven't seen it because I'm busy, and when I lay down at night, I don't watch stuff that other people watch. I watch wrestling because that's what I watch. That's what I like. But there's a show on Netflix, apparently, or one of them streaming services, Peacock or something, where it's like there's a serial killer, and then some people are gonna like make a podcast, I guess, about the serial killer so they can try to get rich off serial killing, right? And the idea is like, I don't know, murder is an obsession that never dies. Like people are always obsessed with murder, right? So you can always profit off the fact that people are obsessed with fucking murder. That's what this reminds me of. People are obsessed with racism, with bigotry, with anti-queer. Being anti-queer is profitable right now. You can make you some fucking money if you just say, hi, I just made this nice tablet cover, and this tablet cover is anti-LGBTQ. We will not hire any LGBTQ people. We are even letting LGBTQ people know that they are not welcome to, and people are like, oh my goodness, that is my favorite tablet cover. I will pay 3 times as much as what it's worth because I have to support the value-based companies. This is just, it's so weird. It's really creepy.
And so she was facing backlash just for speaking her mind. You know, I mean, they say it's so like they're not going to say what she actually did, which is telling, because it's like, you know, I like, you know, orange nail polishes in the summer. You know, it's not what she did. What she actually did was praise Trump, blackfish, and support the Capitol riot. Now, for those of you who don't know what blackfishing is a term used to describe the phenomenon of non-Black influencers and public figures using different methods to change their looks to appear Black, mixed race, or racially ambiguous. And you would want to do that so you could get more, the racially ambiguous woman gets more sponsors and, you know,
Sure.
So you're, you know, like trying to make people, you're trying to seem like something you're not.
Yes.
But you're also appropriating another race.
Absolutely, yes,
when you're doing it.
yes,
so
100%.
So people called her on that.
Wayne talks about this a lot. They appropriate Black women's beauty standards, but then they don't promote Black women. They want the big lips and the body type and the long straight dark hair and even the styles. Like if you look at like now like that sort of Brooklyn style where like the hair is like slicked in the front and it's like all flat and it's like very slicked and like pressed down. I forget the name for it, but you see a ton of white women doing it, and it's really something that women of color, Black and Latino women, were doing in urban things, and now you see it being appropriated by like fucking country music stars and shit.
That's the problem. Yeah, and a lot of people don't understand the problem with appropriation, and something isn't appropriation because a Black woman did it first. Appropriation is when Black people, Black women, or Black people, or it could be Hispanic,
Or whoever
whatever.
it is, yeah.
They are punished for doing it. It is seen as lesser than. Why do those thugs have to wear their pants like that? Your hair, when Black people braid their hair, it's not professional. When it gets appropriated, it is now culturally acceptable.
Mhm.
But the things that we were being punished for is now socially acceptable because white women or white people do
Yes.
it.
So like I went to like my school like never complained because white boys got into hip hop and then they all wanted subs in their cars. So nobody was ever going to complain about them playing their rap music too loud when they pull up to school, right? But let your black ass try to roll through the wrong neighborhood with some subs playing your rap music, nah. But yeah, it's weird. All of a sudden, it's okay. And then that's the painful part is that you see that it doesn't carry the stigma, and it never was the behavior, and it never was it was just the racism. It was really just racism.
Yeah, sorry, but I haven't heard of most of these people, and I don't know, it just sound kind of sus. Like, all these people, they would just speak in their mind. But
Yes, it was. But here's the thing about it. It's Wayne talks about this like it's part of their hero's narrative, their persecution complex. They got this backlash, and then they were so worried, but it's really just marketing. It's their road to Damascus story, their conversion. Oh, I realized that I was a victim of the woke beauty industry, and then I started my own fuck black people, fuck queer people makeup line, and now I'm the biggest fucking beauty queen on Truth Social. Whatever the fuck, and it's all about they just use it for their backstory for their new business, and it bothers me that people are being taken advantage of and don't realize it. But somebody said that, I forget, but it's like it's easier to fool a person than it is to convince a person they've been fooled.
oh yeah, hands down.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on with these people.
Our first launch sold out within like a day or two. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, what? And just seeing how much women wanted this, I was like, wow. And I was scared. It's terrifying putting your story out there. And when you get canceled, and with all of these people now coming for me, it's scary at first to take that first leap. But once you do, you just don't stop. The alternative to people not creating these businesses is way worse than if you would take that leap of faith. Because I don't think a lot of people realize how willing Americans are to support you. Like, we are desperate for
money. It's just so obvious.
Yeah.
America needs alternatives. Oh, and if you haven't
a
already
big ass
guessed,
commercial.
every single
These are the people
really
you should
is.
give. These are all of our friends, and these are the people that you should give your money to.
This absolutely is. And now it's all creepy because he wrote the book called Woke Incorporated or whatever. And this is Unwoke Incorporated. This is really just, this is this get people into the anti-woke economy, right? And make them...
and I need to fly so you can see their face. So you know who's brand to buy. Like,
Exactly. And this is to me, this is like economic segregation.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's all they've ever done.
It's terrible. And it's so hard to watch as women, minorities, queer people, because it's literally just saying, I hate you so much. I won't even buy a fucking razor if they support you. If a razor fucking put Black Lives Matter on their package, I am never buying that razor again.
Even just supports Black people, like you can't support Black people, or just humanity.
And it's fucked up too because
Christianity or bust.
They hate so much more than they love, and what I mean by that is, How many of these people that canceled Disney over fucking The Little Mermaid being black before that were die-hard Disney people? They had Disney Plus, they saw the Disney series, they had the fucking Disney princess castles when they were growing up. They take their family every year to fucking Disney. Like they were Disney's the greatest and Disney's the best and
Years ago when Chick-fil-A, I don't know, the founder said something racist, and everybody on the left was like, well, we can never eat at Chick-fil-A again. And what do you call it?
all right, true story. So
and then Chick-fil-A hires a director of diversity because they have to hire women and people of color. So it's just like, all right, what's the best way to get everybody to play well together? Okay, no, you can't do that. You just have to only hire white men or else we will fucking kill you. It is just so ridiculous.
Yes.
Guys, stop fucking with Wesley. I did not say to ban Wesley on site. What I said was he can stay in the chat if he plays well with others.
Yeah.
I did not say fuck with Wesley.
He's already been banned on site of my chat.
Bandit Jays.
But-
So like here's what I need. I need stupid motherfuckers like Wesley in the chat listening to shit like this. I honestly don't listen to people like Pixie, right? Who says random ass bullshit like you just want an echo chamber, despite me only ever working against that.
Yes.
Everywhere.
Yes.
No, I mean I am so fucking serious. Like my whole like modding career has been telling people to stop calling names and to start talking to people with one another. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, Maya wants an echo chamber. And like people whose chats I mod are just like, oh yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that's the worst. That's
And I can't say enough. Fuck you, Sammy, and fuck you, Robbie.
There's a lot of people who,
and I mean that with my whole heart.
There's a lot of people who just took the opportunity. They were like, oh, and they were secretly waiting for the opportunity to throw you on the bus because it was some bullshit. And I'm like, and they just showed their ass. I was like, all right.
And you know, we love them for it because don't smile in my face, and you know.
Yeah. All right. So I want to tell you the story about Chick-fil-A. So when this Chick-fil-A thing happened, right, because they all lost their mind because Chick-fil-A hired a director, I had forgot that I stopped eating at Chick-fil-A because they were bigoted assholes. So like when I was a Christian, I did the Chick-fil-A thing, right? And then everybody celebrated Chick-fil-A as a Christian. Then I became not a Christian. I was like, I'm not fucking with Chick-fil-A. And then I remember when they like the LGBT community was like, nah, Chick-fil-A's fuck. I was like, oh yeah, fuck. So I stopped. And so literally they did this whole boycott of Chick-fil-A. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot we weren't fucking with Chick-fil-A because of them fucking, like I forgot I stopped eating there. Like it's like they weren't even in the news anymore. Nobody even cared. So it's just so weird that they're now mad at Chick-fil-A for being woke, and we're like, nope.
I mean, they're still not though. I'm going to call it.
Like yeah, and like literally hiring a diversity director in 2006 to like 2010 was like corporate responsibility trying to get on the right track. Hiring a diversity director in 2023 is a confession that your institution is racist as fuck. Because you are as late to the DEI dance as possible without class action lawsuit. That's what that says. That says we were about to face down some really serious financial consequences, and we finally cracked and decided like, okay, maybe our leadership shouldn't be 90% white Christian men. Let's let's bring in a brown female woman as the diversity director. She'll hire a couple of DEI hires and we'll get ourselves clear of the lawsuits. That's all this is. That's all this is. And they think we're going to be like, oh, fuck, yes, fight the power through Chick-fil-A. Like, no. Just no. No. It's all this bullshit.
I mean, it's like we were saying earlier. All they do is project what they do to us onto us.
Absolutely. Yes, they are. They're looking in. They treat cameras like mirrors, right? They're talking to you, but they really just need to be in the mirror talking to themselves.
Perfect example of not just what fighting back looks like, but what winning looks like.
Winning looks like stealing your money.
Well, I'll give you one of the insights from my investing days. It's a famous quote from Warren Buffett. Be brave where others are fearful. There is an economic opportunity. I think it might be one of the biggest economic opportunities of the next decade to serve the 100 million plus Americans, okay, who are badly disaffected from the places where they work, where they shop, where they bank, where they invest. These are also, from an economic standpoint, some of the best customers that any business could want.
They're
That
loyal,
is an economic
they're
opportunity.
stupid,
It might be
they've
the
got
economic
money.
opportunity of our generation.
Yeah.
One person can't do everything, but each person can look themselves in the mirror and ask, how am I going to have my own unique contributions? For me, it's in the financial institutions, in the asset management industry, and in capital markets. Somebody else might be starting a consumer products company. Somebody else might be starting a new university. Somebody else might be starting a new mode or new approach to entertainment. Each of us is making our own unique contributions. And I'm pretty optimistic that together, it's a mosaic that drives that change through true diversity, that dilutes the church of diversity to irrelevance.
Over the last few years, we've seen
Can you
woke
repeat
activists try to
that last
infiltrate
part he
every
He said, yeah. He said, oh, Lord, the true diversity that repeats the church of diversity.
Each of us is making our own unique contributions. And I'm pretty optimistic that together, it's a mosaic that drives that change through true diversity, that dilutes the church of diversity to irrelevance.
So, fuck the church of diversity, but we get true diversity through the church people, because these are all just church people. That's all this is. Just
I mean,
church.
maybe.
Corporate
I think
propaganda.
I think he just knows that his audience is like a bunch of right wing / conservative equals churchgoer, pretty much.
Right.
I don't know, like.
But this is look. This is literally it. They're literally anti-Black Lives Matter. I don't.
Yeah.
How else can you tell me you're racist without telling me you're racist?
Thin blue line. I don't know. Like I haven't seen that yet, but I mean that's tantamount. I mean, because I'm hesitant to say that he's like calling out to the 1% because they don't really do that. But like, okay, with true diversity, just having all races working for me, making me money, because that kind of sounds like the culmination of that whole last speech.
They are. The reason this is not calling out directly to the 1% is because this is the propaganda to the consumers, to consume their bullshit and to think that, oh, we've got a seat at the table just for you. Look, bigot, we're waiting for you to just start your bigot brand, and then, you know, before you know it, we'll be buying stocks in each other's anti-woke companies. But really, it's your dumbass is just gonna vote Trump, even though he's on his way to prison, and you're gonna, you know, buy anti-woke razors and NFTs and just continue to be grifted. And I think they're right in the sense, though, like that all these people have ever wanted to really do is make money. So fuck all the bullshit of like trying to be a church or like grow within like the political ecosphere. Just sell stupid shit to stupid people and just be like, hey, here's bigoted white bread hamburger buns that are fuck Wonder Bread has too many colors in its logo. Buy my whites only white bread. That's all this feels like to me. Whites only white bread. That's what I'm gonna call this from now on. Oh man.
Over the last few years, we've seen woke activists
I
try
don't
to
know.
infiltrate
I mean,
every area of society.
Sorry,
it was
go
just
ahead,
an
Mariah.
odd. I don't know. I mean, it was just an odd statement. Like, I'm feeling like there's something I'm missing. That like there's something I'm not picking up on. You know what I mean?
There's just a lot of layers of fucking dog whistling here, and
It is. And I'm like, it's hard to catch up on all
and
of it.
it's the
I'm
same
not,
thing they
like,
do with the atheism,
firsthand.
right? It's trying to say that, you know, these secular people, these leftists, these progressives, they're really just as religious as we are. It's just that woke is their religion, and you know, their quote unquote diversity is never going to bring us real diversity because they want everybody to be different like them. Like it's just so weird. It's just, yeah, it's a lot of snake oil. Carrie-Ann. Let's finish this. We're almost done with this. We made
entertainment
it.
and media.
We're gonna make
You
it.
don't. I mean, it's a PragerU video. I just don't want you to get
And for many of us,
demonetized
that
for going
seems
too
daunting.
far. But
Talking
Oh,
with
I
people
don't
like
care.
Vivek
I'm not
Ramaswamy,
worried about
Mike
it.
Ferris, Jeremy Boring, Jonathan Isaac, and Amanda Ensing, we have proof that you can push back and make a cultural impact by providing alternatives. We know we're not going to change everybody's mind on these issues, and that's okay. The goal is to create a society where even if nobody's mind changed, we can all live together in a pluralistic, prosperous, civil United States.
Get the fuck out of here. All right, we're done. Stop the tape, and burn burn the tape. Oh my God. That is just, it is literally just talking out of both sides of their mouths. We're anti-Black Lives Matter. Fuck those Muslim senators. Fuck Bernie. Fuck Bill Gates.
I mean, it would
Fuck.
have been nice if she had actually explained, like, why is Black Lives Matter bad? Or is it just like, oh, it's just understood why we hate Black lives?
It's just
I mean, because
understood.
it's just, you know, like, it's one thing, like, when they kind of introduced the concept, it was like, oh, this guy, he just wanted to speak his mind. He didn't believe with all the liberal rhetoric. But then they, like, showing, you know, like anti-Black Lives Matter, anti-trans lives matter, like all, you know, all this other, like, inclusive and supporting slogans. And obviously they're bad. And the only thing that really ties it together is one, freedom of speech. The girl's talking about freedom of speech, like me hating you is my freedom of speech. And the guy saying, oh, it's, you know, my religion. And she let them say it, but it wasn't like tied into her like conclusion statement. So I'm not really sure what to get from that.
Yeah, that was just totally weird. And I thought it was going to be your typical kind of anti-wokeness video. I didn't realize that it was going
to be a 20-minute commercial for their supporters.
Yeah, but I also didn't realize it was going to go so deep into the deliberate construction of like the anti-woke economy. Like, this is really your time and it's all about alternatives. Like, they're repurposing a lot of progressive language, even like the language we use in terms of alternative energy and education. Like, they're like, yeah, no, we need our own colleges and our own entertainment and even this like Pureflix, like, because I think Pureflix is like a little bit too corny for a lot of them. A lot of them, like, they like shit about guns and violence and action heroes and all of this type of shit. So now they're like, wait, let's do like a Daily Wire flicks, and the muscular class can have at it. So this is just, it's really weird. It just shows that I really do think these people are secession minded. They want to. They're like a virtual. This is like the new Confederacy, right? They're like neo Confederates. Let's have our own economy. Let's just do what we can to thwart their government and their progress. It's just really, it's just getting deeper.
I am kind of surprised they're trying to lead their people down that road, because they know it's not sustainable. The country can't split off into blue and red. And I mean, the red states are going to turn into like a third world economy, like really quickly.
Right.
And that's going to be really inconvenient for anybody who's stupid enough to be left behind to run a state. If there's no power there. So what are you going to do? And yeah, I mean, for those of us who are in a blue state, like we'll be fine. But again, it's still not sustainable. And the red states know that they only have power for if they are connected to the money making.
Yeah, they're fucking parasites. And I think they're committed to sabotage at this point. I think because I just don't, they're on the wrong side of every issue. And so I don't think they're really working towards solutions. I think when people really want to get it right, they just leave. Like you're just not conservative anymore. You're not with the church. Like they're so far off the reservation at this point.
Yeah, I mean, which is regrettable because we need people understanding what's going on, and instead of the
world would be better.
I'm doing it too, right? So I'm blue. I stay in blue states. It's really more of a life-saving measure than anything else.
Right.
But as a white person, you do have if you can take it. We need more in to keep.
We need more Joe. We need more Joe Biden Republicans. Like I wish, to me, Joe Biden is. If Joe Biden was where most Republicans were, that would somehow be better. Because it's just we're in such a weird place. Because I've been thinking about how even I really wish Hillary beat Trump, and then now maybe we'd be on the second Hillary term instead of the Biden term. So we've had Trump and Biden. We would have
a Supreme Court utopia. That would be
shit would be
awesome.
The world would be a very different.
It would be
right now.
Great majority, left-leaning justices.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have to worry about any of the shit. We wouldn't have to worry about abortion being in trouble, gay marriages. What do you call it? Interracial marriages.
Yeah.
This whole thing, and I applaud, it really is a win for the country that we're not accelerating the native genocide. But holy shit, why is this even on the table? It shouldn't be to a point where they're even trying us. It should just be no, this is bad for people. You can't have it. And we would have that if Hillary were in office. And everybody's like, oh, Hillary Clinton was so evil. She was as evil as every other politician that ran that term. There's no such thing as a good politician. There's nobody you're going to like. Bernie was president. He'd do a lot of things you'd hate too, because a president is not a king. You have to make deals. Deals mean there's going to be some things that get passed that you don't like. And that's going to be everybody in office for fucking ever. The goal should be to get as many civil rights and as many wins and as many, as much as we can as possible. And you're not going to like the people. You know what? That's okay. They work for us. They're supposed to like us. There's no requirement for us to like them. And it's better if you don't like them, because that means your eyes are more open to the random ass bullshit that they're inflicting on us. And you vote their asses out. You don't want to keep them because you don't like them. Don't like your politicians, people. Don't like them. Because when your goal is to vote for the person that you like most, tell them what to do. And when they don't do that, vote their asses out. What they want is power. And the way they get power is through your vote. I don't want to hear any more of this bullshit about let them earn their vote. No, you get your ass in that voting booth and you vote for the somebody that you like the least. And then you get your friends to do the same. And when they don't do what you want, you let them know you do what the fuck I want. I'm voting you out. And then you keep fucking doing that. And you keep running through them. And we're going to get to somebody at some point who's going to want to keep power long enough to fucking listen to us. Yep. And we're either going to get what we want. If we don't get what we want, they don't get what they want, which is money and power. They can't have it if they're not in office. So I need you to stay awake. I need you to do your goddamn job. I need you to vote. And I need you to know what the fuck you're voting for.
And follow the money.
There are apps on your phone that just deliver that. You don't even have to get out of bed to know what's going on. It's not that hard. And but I need to get out of bed and vote. Like that it's not, you don't get to bitch and moan if you didn't vote. You don't get to bitch and moan if you wrote in Mickey Mouse. Fucking
That's right.
vote.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
And just know you're not gonna like the motherfucker. But you know what? 20 years from now, you'll be like, wow, remember when like Biden was the best we had, and now it's like this guy that really resembles Bernie, and now he's not good enough. And like that's the world we could have if you would just do your part, which is, again, read the news and vote. Like we're not asking for a bunch of shit. I'm not asking for a bunch of shit, but this is how things are going to work for a while. And unless and until we can get money out of politics, it's the way it's going to work for, and until like we allow the 1% to just allow the earth to kill us through floods and earthquakes and tornadoes and, unbreathable air, whatever.
Yeah.
That was my rant.
All right, Maya. Well, this has been fun. Thanks for doing
It has been fun, and it's late, and I thank you for rambling with me on Juneteenth. I want to thank everybody who came. I want to thank my mods. I want to thank my fans. And Jay doesn't have enough likes, so make sure you hit that button on your way out of here.
Oh, yeah. Get that like button and go subscribe to Maya's channel over here if you're not already. Make sure you like the video. Maya, you got anything coming up?
A move.
Maya's moving.
I actually wanted to do a stream today because I knew I would be able to do a stream on Sunday. Also Juneteenth, and we love blackness over here. Black Lives Matter.
Yeah,
Trans
Black
Lives
Matter. Happy Juneteenth, everybody. Of course, happy Pride Month. Appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. Come hang out and gather. We're gonna watch some TV and hang out. I'm gonna watch some Secession and get something to eat. So come link up with the gang and gather, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, stay away from fascists.